Hey, everybody. It is 6 o'clock. It is Friday night, and that means it is time for some dragons and things. Hey, how you doing? Hooray! We are here. We are still streaming. Obviously, you can see tonight we've got Jared, Lamar, Diana, Adam Khan, and Adam Rady. That's right. Two Adams with us here tonight.
It's too many Adams.
Too many Adams. Too many Adams. But yeah, we're gonna play some Pathfinder. I know that all week we have made some statements and about all the things that are happening right now. That's all well and good, but I think that one thing is just that we're here, we're streaming because we hope to provide a space where people can take a little bit of a break and where we ourselves can take a little bit of a break. And we also are still trying to make sure that what we're doing is in the spirit of, being a responsible member of the community. So we still are doing all of our streams this week. All of the donations that we get are still affecting the game, but that money is going to be going to a good cause. We are donating to Black Lives Matter. That is still on for tonight and tomorrow. So if you are making a contribution tonight, just know that will be going to Black Lives Matter. And I don't, I don't think I'm going to say a whole lot else about it right now, just because, I don't know. We're just going to play some Pathfinder. We're going to play some Pathfinder. We're going to do it for good cause, and we're going to keep rolling. All right. Other than that, we got an episode of Heroic Endeavors for you tonight. I am going to stall for a moment so that I can open up my document that has the text that I'm going to read when we play the game, because it's not open right now, but it's going to be right now. So, hey, let's get started, everybody. Are you ready?
That's a good stall, Jim.
I'm ready.
Let's get into it then. Let's have an adventure. Woo. Things have calmed in Cavaloshia since the Great Zoo escape, and Heroic Endeavors Incorporated has enjoyed a wave of goodwill from the city for its part in returning the animals safely to their cages. Rumors abound that a green woman with blazing eyes used powerful magic to wrench open the beast cages to cause the zoo escape, but no one has seen any sign of such a woman since, and many are speculating that the sighting was nothing more than a panic-induced hallucination. As things settle back into the routine, so too are the missions being offered. You are all called into the offices to form a security team for a jewel merchant set to arrive in the city just before noon. The client's name is Ambrose Corner, and you are to meet him at the city gates and escort him to Precious Things, a high-end jewelry maker in the Bright Quarter. Once the jewels are offloaded, your job is done. An easy 3 scales that should see you done within the hour. Perhaps there will even be enough time for a second short contract if you don't feel like taking the rest of the afternoon off. It is a hot day, and you can feel your armor and gear weighing on you. You don't honestly expect any trouble in the city, but it's important you look tough for the client who is expecting a heroic escort, so you can't leave any of it behind. Finally, you see a private carriage pull up beside you, and a curtain whisk aside to reveal a pale blonde face fanning himself and sweating profusely. Ambrose Corner, he says. Let's be on the quickest route, please. You're not being paid by the hour, so there's no sense dallying. One of you is going to ride with my driver and give directions, and the others can walk alongside the carriage and keep the rabble back. The curtain swishes back into place. What do you do?
Read.
Oh.
Yeah,
Read.
that's it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Oh,
yeah.
Comment.
Yeah, we did comment. All
We
right.
read comments, yes.
Comments.
We got there. We did it together.
Yes. Torgens, yeah, I can never say it right.
I just say Torger.
Torger. Thank you guys for the distraction from life's problems. That's true. The stream is escapism at best, and I love it. And I love that I get to be a part of it, and I love that I can help bring it to you guys.
I like that we can also infer from that comment that we're just a big distraction. I like that too.
And we get distracted easily.
Whoa.
Lucas Martinez was saying, man, I can't believe they killed Adam Khan's character off screen, but it's what they agreed to make us wait 15 minutes.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, sorry we had to kill him off camera, but it was a lengthy process.
Well, we don't have the budget for on-camera death.
I'm an undead risk ghost, so that works. That's fine. I'm Harry Plopper's best friend.
Oh no, you're off the show. Get out. Go, leave.
Atanuzo's coming after Diana.
What?
Why? So the plant's a hero? I'm paying for a plant?
Oh.
Wow.
After you. Good body.
Plant. Sorry.
I wanted to grab a comment here from Brian Summer. He says the governor's office, obviously in California governor's office, has announced that film production can resume on June 12th, of course, with major modifications restrictions. I hope this is encouraging news for the DaT network. We all want to see you back in the studio when it is safe to do so. Brian, we're using the common sense doctrine here on the DaT network, and we're just gonna wait it out until the volcano erupts or the asteroid crashes into the Earth. We're gonna give it some extra time to figure itself out. We're in no rush. We are excited at the possibility of being back in the studio, but we will not rush it for safety's reasons, and of course, just I don't know, locusts or something. Who knows what'll happen next?
Well, it's cicadas right now.
You got me, Jared. You got me.
I'll get back in the studio when I see multi-millionaire A-listers working with people again. That's when I think it'll be okay, now it's really safe to go and be around people.
I'm on Team September personally.
Outside without a mask.
Team September.
We've got some exciting things happening right now. Kitsu has cheered. Sarah BC1 has cheered. Sarah BC1 has become the bit boss and has awarded me with the reroll, which is a smart move. So thank you so much. And I wanted to clarify, it's actually not a reroll. It's a hero point. We keep saying it's a reroll, but it's actually a hero point because we're playing second edition. And hero points can be used as rerolls, which we often do, but they can also be used if you spend all of your hero points. You can remove the dying condition, which is super helpful in second edition. Additionally, Ice Wizard is now the new bit boss because Ice Wizard has just gifted 5 subs. So thank you so much because now our subtotal will be climbing back up. So thank you so much as we are on a current quest to reach 400, but we've dipped down below 300. So
I think that was probably because of the end of month Twitch Prime subs.
Absolutely.
There, you got a Prime sub.
You got it.
Everyone check
just click it.
Check your sub.
That's right.
I should check my sub. I'll check later.
I want to sub.
Check your subs.
I'm ready.
Jim, I'm ready to be told a story.
All right. So you're standing there at the city gates. You've got this carriage with your client inside. You know that your job is just to escort this jewel merchant to a shop in the Bright Quarter, which is where all of the high-end shops are. That's your whole job. Just get him there safely. Should be pretty easy. It's a hot day, but you know what? All you got to do is walk, right? So what do? He's requested that one of you sit up with the driver. You see a man, there's a dwarf in a long black coat and a top hat who sort of tips his hat to you when he's mentioned. So other than that,
I think that Bartimus, sorry, Jim, it's a little hard. I didn't mean to cut you off. I think that Bartimus, being a little bit advanced in age, is sort of sweating. This heat has really got him, and he has Philip cradled in one arm while he takes a fan and fans Philip, because Philip he's a fragile heart, and he can't stand this heat. Oh my, he's so hot. Perhaps I should take the ride up there, for if there is any trouble, I have keen eyesight and can whisk my bombs from a great distance across the battlefield. Perhaps you would all not mind. And he basically says this as he continues just walking up and sort of climbing up the carriage.
But Oopsie Drive carriage is known.
It does appear they already have a driver. Perhaps would we have a carriage of our own, or if this gentleman would perhaps like a break?
Oopsie help.
And I'll climb up the other side.
It's now a race to the top. Who can get there
this
first?
Dwarf is now looking at you, Oopsie, and you keep trying to grab the reins, and he keeps inching them further away. Like, no. I will handle this, Master Goblin.
But oopsie help.
No. This is my pleasure to drive. You can ride up here with me, though. Yes, if that is what you feel is best for the security of our man in the carriage.
Don't let Oopsie drive nothing.
And he'll pout and climb down.
I'm gonna
Get his pouty pickle out and take a bite.
I go, Oopsie, you can ride the back with me because sometimes we need backseat drivers.
Oopsie, do whatever.
Oh my! All right, and I sort of set Philip on my lap, sort of like on one knee, so he gets a little ride there, and I continue to sort of fan him while we go, and at the same time sort of fanning myself, and every once in a while you might catch me sort of starting to fan myself, and then I look down at Philip. And, oh yes, dear me, I'm so sorry, Philip. No, of course, how could I forget? And then I continue to fan him.
You kind of get the feeling that you're getting a lot of side eye from the driver, who keeps watching you fan what he presumes to be a teddy bear, but he doesn't say anything. He keeps quiet the whole time as you begin clip-clopping your way through the city. The path to the Bright Quarter follows wide, well-maintained streets. Foot traffic is low on such a hot day. You are just beginning to get bored when you hear a shouting ahead of you, and a man covered in spilled ale rushes out of a tavern ahead. Help! Help! He shouts, and he is followed by several more people rushing out of the tavern door. Screams erupt from inside the tavern. The driver stops the carriage to avoid running into the sudden rush of people and looks at you in confusion as the curtain to the interior of the carriage swishes open. Excuse me, what is going on? Why aren't we moving? It's so hot in here. What is all that racket? Move around them. What do you do?
Sorry, sir. It seems to be a bit of a ruckus. Come get out of the tavern over there. A whole bunch of people who smell a little stale water wheat. Anyway, they're coming out and they're being all panicky and stuff. And I don't know what we got. We got to wait a little bit as they continue to run by, or we'll run them over and then they'll get hurt. And that's probably not a good thing if they get hurt, because that's assault for no good reason, and no one likes salt.
If they didn't want to get run over, they shouldn't be in the street. And as he's saying this, you watch as more commotion breaks out, and a man shuffles out of the front of this tavern. And even from a distance of maybe 30, 40 feet, you can see that his flesh is incredibly pale, and something dark crawls beneath his skin that he doesn't even seem to notice as he just moves slack-jawed forward. He is followed by several more shuffling figures, some of them with growths like vines bursting out of their skin. One has a bright yellow flower growing out of her eye socket. They let out a collective howl and advance towards the onlooking people as panic ensues. It is time to roll initiative.
All right.
Cons go like, Peepa?
Oh dear me.
It's Peepa's cousins.
I didn't do that.
My evil cousins.
I didn't do bad initiative.
My cousins that didn't get enough water, so they're dying.
All right, everybody, don't worry. Bartimus is back.
I hope so.
Did you roll good, Bartimus?
I'm guessing 3.
I've rolled as well as Bartimus can roll, I assure you.
Oopsie, unnatural 20.
What's your initiative, Bartimus?
Bartimus is at a
unnatural 20 for Oopsie.
6.
I rolled a 2.
Bartimus.
Unnatural 20 for Con.
Kanshaka, what do you what
+8.
What was that?
Unnatural 20.
Everything has gone quiet.
Jim, can you hear?
Right. What's your initiative bonus?
+8.
+8? Oopsie?
Only 4 because I'm not a freak of wisdom.
That is definitely Kanshaka in the lead then. Peepa.
Worst. 10.
10.
Hear me?
Yep, I gotcha. 10 for Peepa. And Rias.
14.
14 for Rias. Well, Bartimus, I know you think you did poorly, but I will tell you, you're not going last.
Well,
So how's that sit with you?
that is a pleasant surprise.
Khan Shaka, you see 4 of these stumbling, slack-jawed figures with vines like writhing beneath their skin, and people are panicking, scrambling to get away from them. And you react the quickest of all your companions. So what do you do?
Electric arc.
Jay, you gotta do it. Is that a reflex save or an attack roll from you?
Checking. That is saving throw reflex.
Okie dokie. I'm gonna make that reflex save. You note that these guys don't look like they're moving all that quickly at all. So you think to yourself, surely you'll be able to zap them good. And that is a 5 total for the reflex save. So I would say you got him.
Yeah, consider mine's. Woof. Okay. It's 1d4 plus my spellcasting modifier.
What is the DC for your spell?
Spell DC is 18.
Okay, is there a critical failure effect for your because a 5 on the die is a critical failure because I am 10 below your DC. So if there's an extra effect for critically failing, you get to use it.
It just says heightened. I don't think that's crit.
Okay, then go ahead and roll that damage. Does it say it's a basic reflex save?
Yeah.
Then you get to roll double damage. It's just like a critical hit then.
So double all
damage.
of it or just die?
Roll 2 damage dice and then double what you would normally add to those damage dice. I think it'd be 1d4 plus 4, so it'll be 2d4 plus 8.
That is 6 plus 8, 14 points of damage to 2 creatures.
You see electricity just blast through your target, and it seizes up and just falls forward. Doesn't whimper, doesn't make a sound. Just falls forward on its face and stops moving. The second one actually does get to make a save, separate save. So I'll make that one. And that is, I'll count it on the floor. That is another natural 5. So that is also, we'll just apply the same damage.
Wow.
And it also, like both of these creatures just fall flat. That's half of the enemy combatants just down on the ground from one of Kanshaka's spells.
Zip zap, Jim. Is what
Zip zap, indeed.
Zap.
That was 2 actions, I believe. So you technically do have another action if you'd like to do anything. Perhaps just some finger guns.
I would say I stopped 2 of them. As I zapped them, they stopped moving. I will move to protect the carriage, though, to make sure they.
Sure, you get closer to the carriage. After
and
just
bury the bear.
Annihilating those 2 shuffling weirdos. It is Oopsie's turn. Oopsie, something doesn't look right ahead. Kanshaka's already blasted 2 of these guys, but there's 2 more of them shuffling forward.
Can I knowledge, nature, or whatever? The plant's the thing that seems out of place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no good.
What that is.
Sure, if you are trained in actually, I think you can do it untrained. You can use 1 action to recall knowledge if you have got nature.
Well, I am trained in nature, so it's more. 14.
14. You're not quite certain what you're looking at, except that it does look like there is some kind of invasive flora that is like growing out of these people. And by all accounts, it looks like it's having some kind of horrible effect on their behavior. They're shuffling about almost. It reminds you very much of zombies raised by necromancy, though that doesn't really jive with the plants that you're seeing. So something is wrong terribly.
And what's the range on them to us right now?
They're about 30 feet ahead of you.
Okay. Oopsie, for his second action, he will run forward 15 feet.
Okay.
And shit. He won't do that.
Whoa.
He won't do that. That'd be
No.
craggish. He'll draw his glaive. I forgot I did it in the wrong order, so now Now I pulled a weapon.
All right. You got a weapon out. Are you still moving forward? That was still the...
Yeah.
Okay, right. So you put yourself closer to the action, weapon in hand, ready to deal with this threat, whatever it happens to be. And then Reis, is your action next?
Yes. So actually, as we were walking, Reis kind of had like his claw cut, and he can't really tell what it was, but it looks like a little fuzzy creature in his hand. His finger keeps glowing, he keeps touching it, and then when he hears all this commotion, he sticks it back in his pocket, and he's just going to look around the side of the carriage and point his finger at the leading one that's kind of in charge, and he's just going to cast command and say, "Lay down." And so we'll say on your
you
end,
reach out with your mind, as you have done so many times before, and attempt to command this creature, but there's nothing there. It feels as though you're just in this hollow space calling out to nothing. And you realize that there is no mind to control.
Okay. I'll just walk about 10 feet to the other side of the carriage. I would say I would be on probably the opposite side of where everything was happening. So I'll move around to the side where they're all coming out of. So about like 10 feet.
Sure.
And that'll be me.
Sticking close to the client, but getting closer to the action in case you need to do anything else, realizing that these things are mindless. And as they advance on the crowd, Peepa, you react quicker than them. What do you do?
I would like to make a knowledge nature to see what type of plant people these people are. Probably not 11. 11.
Yeah, you don't know. It's you can't quite tell what's happening.
All right, then I'm gonna take out my harp and start playing and inspire and encourage for everyone.
Everyone is very inspired, including Bartimus.
Oh, yes, I am quite inspired, encouraged even. I feel very, I do feel put off by the situation, so I certainly take one action to tuck Philip back into his pouch and make sure he is safe.
Okay.
And make sure he's comforted. And then I will survey the battlefield and try to determine what is causing all this ruckus and commotion in terms of the nature. I'm going to do a nature. Because
nature
I don't
check.
know. Yeah, and I can do that untrained or no?
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Get that training bonus to it.
All right. It's a 15 on the die, which makes it a 15.
15 on the die, making it a 15. You aren't quite certain what's going on. Obviously, you can visually see that something horrible is happening to these people. And you've seen, you can see their actions are very halting and jerking. It reminds you very much like a zombie. You note that you saw that Reis tried to affect them with a spell, and it just did nothing to them. So you can tell something's wrong, but not the nature of it.
Well, everything seems fine, so I'm just going to wait it out, I think.
So you are gonna. Hey, I understand. You're a cautious man.
Well, it's interesting because I saw that Khan Shaka struck them down with some lightning, and I will say, are we to kill these individuals, or what is the plan here? And then I'll wait it out and hear if anybody responds. Sure.
It is now the remaining creature's turn. You see. The two that are out in the street, the ones that are still left standing, don't even acknowledge their fallen compatriots. They just shuffle forward towards the screaming people. The people are actually closer to them than any of you are, and none of them seem to even after Kanshaka's blast of magic, they haven't even seemed to register your presence. They don't come towards Oopsie, who's still a little bit back with the glaive in hand. They actually just move right up to one of the first people who stumbled out of the tavern, and you see it just try to claw him in the face, which he successfully does, just slashes him across the face. And this guy cries out in pain, and you can see the flesh just get torn away. Bless you, Jared. But then it's almost like the scream gets cut off in mid-sound, and the guy just stops, and he straightens up, and he starts walking. And the creature that was attacking him, as soon as he stopped screaming, the creature that was attacking him doesn't reach out to hit him again, doesn't even acknowledge him, just turns towards another person nearby and starts shuffling forward as this guy just walks into the alley calmly, as if nothing had happened, even though flesh from his own face is like hanging and blood is everywhere. He just walks into the alley. The other of these creatures does something similar. Just walks up to a nearby person and just grabs onto them. And the same thing happens. It grabs onto him, holds it for a moment. The person who's struggling and screaming suddenly just stops. Their hands go down to their sides, and they begin calmly walking into the alley as their attacker lets them go, completely ignoring them. As this happens, from that very alley, two more of these shuffling people come making their way out into the main thoroughfare, bringing the total back up to 4. And one of these does manage to get up towards where Oopsie is standing, but it's moving incredibly slowly. So it gets right up next to Oopsie, but it's not moving very fast. So it only gets those 2 actions to get up to Oopsie, but it doesn't do anything else. And a third one, the fourth and final one of these, begins making its way towards where Rias is standing, but it doesn't even have enough actions to get all the way to him. It just gets about halfway to him before it just gets slowed up. So that is the end of round 1, bringing us to the top of round 2 with Kanshaka. You're up.
Oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad.
My dear boy, be careful. They do seem ornery. Perhaps they would also like a toothbrush.
Incredibly ornery.
I don't think they're excited right now, sir, but I think we should stop them before they continue to spread whatever disease their fingernails have. But yeah, they'll be excited maybe later, sir. Anyway, electric arc again at the
electric arc. Yes. Absolutely. I'll go ahead and roll a save for your primary target. That is a 16 on the die, which is still a failure, I believe, but at least I only take normal damage and not double damage.
They'll take 8 points of electric damage.
8 points of damage. It's still up.
Did you add my
though you see a huge chunk of its flesh is blasted away.
Oh, do you add damage to that?
You add my
you get
Inspire
the +1
Courage
from
gives you a
Pipa.
+1.
Ooh.
Yeah, +1 to it. It's a
9
damage.
points of damage.
9 points of
counts.
damage. You know, your blast hits it, and you see a huge chunk of its chest just get blown apart, and it doesn't even slow down. In fact, you notice that now this burst of vines come whipping out of the chest cavity and are now thrashing around. And you can see that they're reaching out now, almost grabbing out even further beyond its normal reach.
Oh, no.
But I do believe your arc is going to hit another one, so I'm going to make a second save. And that is a 17 on the die, which is still a failure. Great rolls, but still a failure. So these things are not quick. So, yep, go ahead and deal that damage. We'll just roll the damage over on that one. So that's 9 for that one. That one also has a huge chunk blasted out of its side, and these vines just come whipping out. The one near Rias, who it previously couldn't reach Rias, but Rias, you're watching these vines just blast out of the hole in its chest cavity, and it can reach you now. It can definitely reach you now. You do have one more action, Kanshaka.
Khan just kind of looks down at his bear, whose hairs are starting to stick up a bit, down at Barry. And then I want to do a nature check to see if I can figure out what the heck.
Sure, nature away, my friend.
I am a druid. I should be good at this.
And yet,
that's a natural 20 on the die, making a total of.
Please be good.
Nature, 28.
You are very well. You remember from your early days in your training.
Yes, 20.
You were told always to beware the yellow musk creepers, which are plants that are capable. They reproduce by infecting hosts with their spawn. Their thralls will wander around spreading their pollen to yet more thralls, and they can propagate incredibly quickly this way, especially in a densely populated area like the city. It is absolutely terrifying that you should see them in a place like this, and you have no idea why they would be here, because nothing like this should be anywhere in this region. There is no way you should be seeing those things here.
Don't let them touch you, or you might become the orneries, like Mr. Bartimus said.
Oh, well, I don't want to be ornery, no.
Well, you will be if they touch you.
Oh, dear me.
Move quickly.
You do. I'll give you one actual useful piece of, actually 2 useful pieces of information, because you succeeded so well on your thing. You already know about the pollen touch, which can, you know that the people who are fascinated, who are just walking calmly after being attacked, it's because that's what this creature is literally trying to enthrall people. You know that they are going to seek out the plant itself, which will then turn them into more of these thralls. And I will tell you, however, that because you know that the thralls and the plant itself are weak against fire. Fire is especially effective against them.
I don't have a lot of fire spells.
That laugh, man. Kanshaka's gone mad with power.
Oh no, he has become one of those yellow musk creepers.
He's become too ornery. All right. Excellent turn, Kanshaka. Which takes us to Oopsie's turn next.
There's one right in front of me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, you note. Let's see. When a creature, so this actually would have been resolved at the end of its turn, since it is right next to you. But we'll resolve it now. There are grasping tendrils of vine that are reaching out for you, all just thrashing madly around this creature. You do need to make a reflex save right now.
Oh, that's not. I'm going to use the edge that Sarah BC1 just donated.
Probably wise.
Oh, Sarah!
Thank you, Sarah.
That is an edge of the
just
table.
For you. It looks like, yeah, it looks like everybody, even me. Even I can
Jim Jam.
Sarah?
Jim Jam got suit too.
Oh, well, maybe not quite as great then.
Now, I'm also going to use my hero point to reroll. Much wizard, because I don't think a 5 would have done it. So
no, that would have been a bad reflex save.
Well, Oopsie's a plant now.
No.
The exact same roll.
Oh no!
No.
You're not quite a plant yet, but you are. These tendrils just grab onto you, and you weren't expecting it, and you can't quit away quite quickly enough. You are grabbed. Grabbed means that you are flat-footed and immobilized currently, but it does not actually do anything to your attacks. So it only affects your armor class, and you can't move.
Okay, I don't know. It dropped it by 2. That's all right. Well, I guess I'll try and swing down with this glaive and see if I can sever the vine that's going after me.
Sure.
Now I can roll okay. That's going to be a 19 to hit.
19 will do it. That is a hit.
Or 1d8 plus 1 damage. It's going to be a total of 6 damage, Jim.
6 points of damage. Well, because Conshock has already blasted away most of its chest, you are able to just sever it right across, like bisect it horizontally, Darth Maul style, and it just falls apart in 2 pieces. The vines that were grabbed onto you just fall away as this thing falls apart in front of your eyes.
Nice.
You have done it. You got 2 actions left.
How far away is the next one?
Not too far because it had moved up towards where Rias is. So it would take you 1 action to move up to it, but you can do that.
Okay. I'll move up and try and get another swing in to help Rias out.
Thanks.
And I'm only at a +0 on this one.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, Jim. I rolled a 1 for the attack, and then a dragon and things for the damage. So,
well, luckily, none of your other companions. Normally, you wouldn't even be next to Rias because the only reason it can reach Rias is because its vines have like extended out from its body. However, what I will say is, so when one of these things ends its movement next to a creature, they have to roll a reflex save. When you end your turn next to that creature, you also have to roll a reflex save. And I will say that you got so caught up in mixed up with your swing, and the glaive haft got caught in your leg, and you're going to take a -2 penalty to that reflex save that you got to make right now, or be grabbed by this creature as well.
All right. Here's hoping I don't roll like Bartimus.
What does that mean there, boy?
19 on the die, -2, 17 plus 8.
Wildly successful. You were expecting it. You knew what to expect from these creatures. So even though you get a little bit tripped up, you still artfully maneuver yourself away from these tentacles or these tendrils, and you are not grabbed. You are safe.
Huzzah.
Well done. However, that was your 3rd action, and it is Rias's turn. Rias, you are also within this creature's reach, even though it is still like 10 feet away from you. You thought you were safe, and then all of a sudden, these vines just like shoot out towards you. You know that if you can't get away, you're very likely to end up in the same fate that Oopsie almost was in. But it is your action.
Yes. Both fingers start glowing blue, and I just say forebodings. And Forbidding Ward on the one between me and Oopsie and on Oopsie.
Okay. All right.
So Oopsie will get that +1 against that creature.
Nice.
And then that's 2. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, but I want to look at this thing and just back up like 20 feet, try to keep it still focused on me.
Sure.
And hopefully I can get it to at least follow me away from Oopsie.
Gotcha. So you back out of the way, making sure that you don't get tangled up in its vines after casting a spell to help out Oopsie. Peepa, everybody has been pretty inspired so far. So what's next?
I was going to say, since I have fascinating performance, can I perform like a plant dance, like as if I'm their host, and see if they're fascinated by me?
I don't know, but I will find out, because these are those bard abilities that almost never get to be used. But I want to see, like, will it work?
Yeah,
Jim.
Fascinating performance.
Yes,
I'll allow it.
You'll allow it. Let's see. When you perform, compare your result to the will DC of one observer. If you succeed, the target is fascinated by you for 1 round. Blah blah blah. You must critically succeed to fascinate it and perform action against the ground. You must choose which creature you're trying to fascinate. Yes, I will say that you can try to basically counter-fascinate one of the fascinated people. There's one of the victims is currently like still visible, like they're just about to disappear into the alley. You can try to use your song to capture their attention away from whatever it is that is clouding their mind. Go ahead and make a performance check.
What's that look like or sound like, Diana?
I'm your host, and you're going to watch me.
I'm fascinated.
That was adorable.
7 plus 8, and I'll use my edge. Thank you. So that's 8, 16.
16. Let's see. The DC. Yeah. They stop.
Great.
You can kind of tell that there's a battle currently going on, like internally. They have not resisted either effect. So basically, both competing effects have stopped them in their tracks. But you know that if you stop what you're doing, they will without breaking the other effect on them, they will certainly continue on that same path. You've succeeded, and it lasts for 1 round. So if you want to keep doing it, you have to keep fascinating them every round until you can somehow break the other effect on them. But you've saved that person from continuing on their path, wherever that might lead them. So excellent work. I love it. Are you... Doesn't actually say how many actions...
No, it does not. But or maybe I wrote it down somewhere else. Let me see.
Means it's free, right?
No, it doesn't say how many actions. But I don't want to do anything else if I'm going to concentrate on that. You know
I gotcha. Okay, cool. I was just checking. So, okay. So, Peepa, you managed to basically put a hold on one of these people as both you and the strange pollen compulsion battle it out in their mind, and it is Bartimus's turn.
Yeah, well, all right. I guess we're doing this. The knowledge that I have is that I will become ornery if they get me. And ornery to me means an undead, mindless zombie thing. And so far I've seen Kanshaka zap these things with the power of arcane magic. So, or divine, actually. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, I'm going to pull out a flask of alchemist fire and throw it on the one that Peepa has stopped.
Peepa stopped a person who was walking into the alley. The person who was walking in the alley does not currently have any of that like visible vine issue going on. They're just walking. So you can throw an alchemist fire at them, but I'm letting you know you don't see the same. It doesn't. They don't look like one of these vine people.
But I was told they became one of those vine people.
Yeah,
you were.
I'm operating off the knowledge that I have.
Okay.
Kill that human being.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know.
Hey.
Alchemist fire. Come on, I'm not going to hit him anyways. I got to roll the dice.
What you rolling that 20?
I rolled an 11 on the die plus 6, I believe. So that's a 17. Oh no, plus 1 for the inspiring song that is being played.
That is a hit. That is a direct hit. It is not a critical hit, but it is a hit.
All right. I will burn this person to the ground, and they shall no longer be ornery. 1d8.
Oh, poor person.
This is the knowledge that I have, and I shall use it. There is 3 points of fire damage, plus 1 persistent fire damage. Plus, is there anyone else around them?
No, not currently.
Then the splash damage just ignites the ground in a fun little blaze.
A fun little blaze. Yeah, this jar smashes. Flames go out. The target is no longer fascinated. That breaks fascination. It breaks both fascination effects. So they are not fascinated by the pollen or
I have saved them.
But then they immediately die because they're peasants.
Well, I saved him before he died. It's unfortunate that plant was the cause of his death.
It is unfortunate that the plant was the cause of his death.
Don't point at me, though. Make sure it's the right plant you're pointing at.
It is my turn. One of these creatures, it's got Oopsie already within range, but it was targeting Rias. Its natural instincts are always just to go for the easiest target, but Rias is trying to catch his attention. So I'm actually going to roll a d4. I'm going to say on a 1, it continues after Rias. On a 3, 2 through 4, it'll still go after Oopsie. So that is a 3. So it ignores Rias. and just goes after Oopsie. And actually doesn't even have to go anywhere because now it has that longer reach. It just whips the tentacles out. And because it doesn't, because you are within its reach, you do need to make a reflex save. Oopsie.
+1.
I was going to say, does
you get +1? You do.
Yep.
Okay.
You got it for a minute.
Am I still at that -2?
No, that was just for the first one.
Woo! 18 on the die, 19 plus 8, 27.
Nice.
That is a successful save. You are not tangled up. However, my attack total is a 19.
That is my AC, unless
With the
that song does something fancy.
With the +1 for me though too.
I didn't use a +1 from you.
No, the forbidding ward, it also gives you a +1 to your armor class.
Oh, well then
second
at
too.
20, it does not hit.
But if I use an edge to give myself a +1,
Oh no, that is disappointing.
No.
that'll hit you.
Cry. Why do you hate Oopsie, Jim? He just
I
spreads
don't hate
pickles and
Oopsie.
love.
I don't hate Oopsie. I just want to hit somebody, and you're there.
Yep.
You are going to take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as it grabs onto you. I do need you to make a will save.
A will save. These are my worst of the saves, Jim.
I'm sorry.
And I'm concerned because this die rolled,
You got a
high the last two.
+1.
So I have a +1, and so do I have 2 +1s then? One from Pippa and one from Rias?
I don't
Pippa's
have my
no longer
fast-
inspiring.
Yeah, no.
She switched her actions, so you have the +1 from the forbidding ward, though.
Okay. Thank God I have at least a +6 in my save,
That's respectable.
which brings my total to an 8.
You all watch as Oopsie, this creature just bashes Oopsie in the head. And Oopsie, you are fighting, struggling, and then all of a sudden, just everything goes blank. Oopsie, like his hands drop to his sides. He's dragging the glaive as he begins just shuffling slowly towards the alley.
Oh
Can I
no!
become
all of
a
you.
pickle
No, no, no,
plant?
no, 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 no.
He's become ornery.
He's become ornery. I've still got other creatures on the battlefield. So one of them is going to attack a person, a helpless person, but fails. This person scrambles back out of the way and begins fleeing down the street away from this creature. And another one is going to shuffle towards the carriage, and it is going to take both of its actions to get up to where the carriage is. And I believe Kanshaka, it's basically equidistant between Kanshaka, Pipa, and Rias at this point. But because it moves so slowly, it doesn't get to take any other actions to actually attack any of you. But you see it right there in your face, and you know that things are getting very serious. It is Kanshaka's turn.
Khan is going to walk up to the one coming at him. He's going to produce flame in Kalima its heart.
Kalima, its heart. That is a spell attack, so go ahead and make it.
I have to roll.
Do it.
That is a 17 plus 8, which is 25.
Oh, yes, that is a critical. You Kalima, its heart. That is a critical hit.
Produce flame is a 1d4, so double 1d4, and then it takes 1d4 persistent. So that's 2 plus 4, that's 6. I do that twice, that's 12. And then it also takes 4 fire persistent.
Well, what it also takes is an additional 5 points of damage because of its weakness to fire, bringing the immediate total to 17, which, as I mentioned before, you Kalima, its heart. You reach into this thing's chest cavity with your hand just blazing, and you just hold it there as its chest begins to expand from the heat. You see flames like burst out of it. The tentacle vines are just shriveling up and falling away as the whole thing just collapses like to ash around your fist. It dead.
It doesn't like fire. It doesn't like fire at all. Barry, look what I did. I went boom.
Do you have a third action you would like to take?
Produce flame was 2 actions for some reason.
Yes, it is 2 actions, but I believe you only had to take 1 action to cast it because
okay.
It was next to you when you did this.
I actually am going to follow Oopsie.
Okay, you begin going after Oopsie. It is Oopsie's turn, and he has no choice but to use all 3 of his actions to walk slowly into the alley away from you, Kanshaka. And then Rias, it is your turn. There are still 2 of these creatures visible. One of them is the one that hit Oopsie.
So Oopsie
and then there's one that tried to attack a dude but missed.
Okay. The one that hit Oopsie, I'm gonna try to get its attention again.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna reach into my pouch, and I've got a vial. I've got and as you're looking at the vial, like this kind of glimmering blue liquid peel off the top, I'm gonna chuck it at it. It's a frost vial.
Frost vial.
This thing with a frosty vial.
All right, roll
Frost
attack.
Vial. Hey, it's give me a 16.
16 hits.
Yay.
Oh yeah. Cool. Oh, hey, that is a full frosty damage on that thing, and it takes a -5 foot penalty, so it's going to be even slower than it was as well. So pulling, chucking at that thing, and I just want to try to egg it to me and be like, "Come to me, little plants."
Was there any damage, or does it not deal damage? Does the frost vial not deal damage?
Give me freeze.
That's a freeze.
Is it?
Sorry, did we freeze?
Hold on.
We did,
Something
but it
no,
came back.
you're
It was
good.
a good
You
face
guys
to
hear
freeze
us?
on.
You're good. Adam's on his phone. You're good.
Yeah.
We see him.
Look okay on chat.
And now you're frozen again.
Okay, well, I was about to text you guys because like we completely almost lost visual. Everything was really slow.
It's...
Okay, but okay, yeah.
I was asking though if you do you deal any actual cold damage, or is it just the movement penalty?
No, it was 1d6 frosty damage.
Oh, so you
Cold
dealt
damage
6
on
points
it.
of damage. Then the movement penalty is actually all of its movement because it dies. So
Ooh.
so it can move no feet ever again. Good job. After Rias, it is Peepa's turn.
Okay.
You counter fascinated the one target, and then he died. But now you see Oopsie, and Oopsie has actually disappeared into the alley now. Like he just moved his full complement of movement all the way into the alley away from everybody. There's still one more of these creatures actually in your field of view. Yeah, if you just want to use all of your actions to...
Well, sorry. So did I see Kanshaka follow Oopsie?
Yeah, Kanshaka started to move towards Oopsie, but he only had... He's basically standing in front of the tavern at this point, but Oopsie has gotten further than him because he had the whole three actions of movement to get away. So you can still see Kanshaka. You can't see Oopsie, though.
Okay, then I'll fascinate the last one that's near us.
The only one that's near you. So none of these creatures' victims are near you. There's just one of these creatures. Do you want to try to fascinate it? Okay.
Yes.
Make a check to try to fascinate the creature.
Okay. 8 plus 6. 11, 12, 13, 14.
You are doing your dance and you are playing your song, and you notice that like this creature does not register what you're doing at all. You get the feeling that not only did you not succeed, but you get like this thing has no motivation. It's incapable of appreciating your music. It has no ability to process the sounds. Like it's completely mindless. And then we will go to Bartimus's turn.
Oh, yeah, no, it's totally my turn. Well, I was gonna firebomb Oopsie to save him from that terrible fate,
You are the one person who has line of sight to Oopsie if you want to firebomb him. But only if you want to firebomb him.
Yeah, no, I'm going to firebomb him. Yeah.
No, you can't firebomb Oopsie right now.
What? I can't firebomb him? You just said I could.
I know, I was being mean. You can firebomb. There's one of these creatures left. You could firebomb it, but that is pretty much it in the range of targets. Unless you just want to start firebombing like the carriage, which you can do, I guess.
Hey, no, I know you are trying to trick me. I know that my firebomb worked. He was unfascinated once he was lit on fire. You cannot tell me that would not work. All right, there we go. Firebomb. I rolled a bottomless.
You bottomless it.
It is so difficult. You know, I find it. Bottomless was quite confused because he looked over at Rias, and he had always misjudged Rias. You see, he didn't understand that Rias also dabbled in the same art that Bottomless does, and saw him pull out a frost vial and thought, should I perhaps be using a frost vial? I wonder where he gets his frost vial from. Is it perhaps the same supplier that I use, or does he make his own? I'm very confused. And so distracted, I quickly worked up an alchemist fire and threw it. And unfortunately, it was not as good. And perhaps Rhea should just take over these duties for Bottomless so that he no longer has to trouble himself with these type of burdens. It was a 9, Jim.
Not a critical failure, but you do miss. Your firebomb falls short, and it does not do the thing you hoped it would do.
As an alchemist in 2nd level Pathfinder, I want you to know that I can do 6 things a day, and that is it. And I have done 2 of them already.
You've done 2 of your 6 things.
Oh, God.
I have also received my very first kill in Pathfinder 2e. I do not believe I have a kill throughout 2 characters in Pathfinder 2e.
Oh, no. Oh, wow. Well, it's my turn. And the closest target to one of my creatures is Kanshaka. So the last remaining of these viney zombie dudes just shuffles over to Kanshaka with 1 action and tries to batter him with his 2nd action. But with a 3 on the die. I don't believe that a 10 is going to get Kanshaka. So knowing exactly what to expect, Kanshaka just artfully dodges out of the way as this thing tries to just come in and batter him.
I love this
effectively
so much.
It is your turn, Kanshaka. How do you respond to this heinous attack?
I would say Barry, take care of it, and have the bear attack the one attacking me, so that I can use the rest of my 2 actions to go after Oopsie.
Sure. Barry charges into the fray, ready to defend your life.
Barry? Okay. Those are the same roll. Barry's going to bite it with his jaws. He is a strong boy. Does a dirty 20 hit?
Oh, yeah. Dirty 20 is going to get him. Clamps down hard on this creature.
Yes.
Max damage for 11.
11 points of damage just tears this creature's whole left arm off. And you can see once again that while you've certainly severely damaged this creature, now it just has this mass of extended vines lashing out all around wildly. As we move, you begin chasing after Oopsie, and you get to the alley. You look down and you can see that now Oopsie is at the far end of it. And he's just continuing on his way, walking. It looks like him. You see the first of the victims has now just turned. You just catch the briefest glimpse of them turning down a side, a junction in the alley. And it looks like Oopsie is going to follow along in just a moment here, which is exactly what he does. As you get there, doesn't register, doesn't look back at you or anything, just calmly walks down the alley, disappearing around the corner, dragging his glaive behind him.
Oopsie, I want a pickle. Pickle.
You see, you call out for a pickle, and all you see is just you notice that in the middle of the alley, there's a pickle with a bite taken out of it that's just lying there all alone. A little bit of rain drizzles down on it.
That's the saddest thing ever, Jim. It'll teach you to critically fail saves, guys.
It is Ries's turn. Barry looks like he is just tearing this thing apart, but you realize that it being there does put it in some danger. And it is your turn. How do you respond?
Yes. I am. I'm probably farther away from that thing, aren't I? I'm gonna activate because it's one action to activate a reach spell, correct?
Yep, one extra action to use reach on your spell.
Okay, and I'm gonna reach with a chill touch. And
reach in with the chill touch. All right,
do fingernails.
All right,
chill touch. That's a 10.
A 10 is not going to touch it.
Not. I lied. No, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. That's a 12.
A 12 is also not going to touch it. You reach out with your mind, but you are unable to make contact with this thing. And it's close, but it's because it's still like thrashing around so wildly, you can't quite make contact. Peepa, it's up to you.
Okay, it's up to me. Is there a cobblestone near me? Is there
you can find like
object that weighs one bulk around me on the floor?
Yeah, I know what you're doing. Yes, you can easily find like a can in the road. You can fling at it real quick with your mind.
I know where there's a pickle.
There's a pickle. Yeah, that's right.
Is there a pickle?
No, it's an alley. You can't see the alley. No, the pickle's in the alley. You can't see it.
I don't know if the pickle's not going to do that much damage. I'll take the can that I randomly see and use telekinetic projectile and project it towards the creature.
That is a spell attack.
Here we go. Okay, 19 plus 8.
Oh, critical hit. Absolutely. Critical hit. Roll double your damage dice.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I'm going to kill it with a can. Here we go. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, sorry. 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 1, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13! Jesus.
13 points of damage.
13 Jesus.
There's stuff here. Ooh, thank you.
Things.
Food. Dana.
Things.
Dana.
They said hi.
Tell them I say hi.
You can come say hi.
Okay.
Everybody loves you.
She's doing TikToks, Jim. Don't take out of her schedule.
Oh yeah, they say go do my TikToks.
Okay. I will.
All right. That was our Dana break. That was our regularly scheduled Dana break.
Yes.
So indeed, you pick up a can in the middle of the road, fling it with your mind as hard as you can as this creature is struggling. It looks like it's about to just wrap these vines around Barry and squeeze him. And then you just lodge this can right in the back of its head, almost pushing through to you can actually see the bulge of it in the front of its skull. But it just stops moving all of a sudden and drops like a rag doll. It is destroyed. I would normally say this takes us out of initiative order. There are no more hostile targets. However, Oopsie is still under the effects of this fascinated condition, as well as another person. So I will go ahead and move on to Bartimus's turn. What do you do?
Well, it's important that you've moved on to my turn, as I have so many options in front of me. First off, I'm going to jump off this cart or carriage and move towards one of these bodies.
Okay. You get to one. With 2 actions, you can get to one of the bodies for sure.
Well, now I have 2 options here, James. I am either going to take a sample of this thing. That's option 1. Or option 2, I would like to determine if my normal antidotes would be able to suppress these effects.
Okay. Make a craft alchemy or medicine check if you want to determine sort of the nature of the whether you can counter it with your alchemy, or you can just take a sample with a medicine check.
Where's my craft alchemy score? I feel like
it should just be crafting. I don't think it'll be craft alchemy. It'll just be your crafting skill.
Well, great. We're gonna do it here. That is Alina, so I will re-roll that. Oh my! These are not numbers that Bartimus normally sees. That's a 27 to determine this.
Whoa, 27. You are pretty certain that this is not like a typical poison. And so unless you have some way of shoring up mental defenses specifically, you would not be able to use just like a regular poison antidote to assist against these things. However, you do note as you're looking at like the pollen spores that have sort of burst around this creature, and you see them literally like corroding before you. You can see that it is not like the dead creature is not a danger to anybody. And yeah, what was your total?
Yes, 27. 27.
Yeah, I mean it's. Normally, I'd say it requires more study, but that's a critical success. I'll give it to you. You can tell that once you have, as you're sort of watching how fast this pollen degrades, you can tell that were you to actually be able to resist its effects, you gain a temporary immunity to it for up to a full day. So anybody who's exposed to it who actually succeeds on a save is actually immune to its effects for a while, which might give you a bit of a reprieve if you do resist its effects at any point.
I'm tempted now. Okay. I believe that's all the actions I can take.
Awesome. It is now Khan Shaka's turn, actually.
Khan's going to continue to run as fast as he can to Oopsie.
Okay.
And Barry is going to try to find Khan.
Sure. As you move forward, it might actually be a good idea to come out of initiative order at this point, because you move forward and you see you can't quite get up to Oopsie. He's just got too much of a lead on you, and he doesn't seem to be doing anything else but just moving forward. Where is he going? But as you get into the next part of the alley, and you can see there's the first man who had moved into the alley is ahead of everybody, is just disappearing into the darkened, open doorway of a small shop. And you see Oopsie is headed right for that same shop. And it's dark in there, and you don't see anything in there, but they're going into this building. The door to the building is just like open. There isn't anybody else around right now. And you smell this like heavy, musky odor. And since you know exactly what yellow musk creepers are, you from that recall knowledge earlier that you critically succeeded on, you know that they are close to the source plant for this infection. And alarm bells are just ringing in your head because you know that this is an incredibly dangerous area, not just for you, but for anybody around. And with that, I think we should take a small break and talk to the chat for a little bit. Actually, you know what? It's already 7:30. Why don't we go ahead and take a mid-show break, and then when we come back, we'll talk to the chat.
Already?
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, Jim, do keep in mind, I don't know why I'm still talking the accent. Keep in mind, we didn't start until 20 or so minutes late. So that is why.
Yeah. But we'll still do that. Yeah. Let's do it. I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
What is up, DaT fam? We've got some big news. Yeah, that's right. Breaking news update right here. Yeah, that's right. We've just passed 50,000 channel views, along with, we're over 1,000 YouTube subscribers. We've got 2,500 followers. We've got almost 300 Twitch subscribers. And we've got over 650 hours streamed. That is crazy. And you know what? That craziness is all thanks to you, the DaT fam. And from us at the Dragons and Things Network, we have to say thank you. Thank you from all of us. Boom. At the Dragons and Things Network. Thank you for liking, for subscribing, for commenting, for being a part of the family. All of us at the DaT fam want to say thank you for your constant support, for all the love you've given us. And remember, we are going to continue to stride boldly forth to adventure! That was my Quigley. Sir Craig? No, it's just somewhere in the... I'm annoying! Somewhere in there. Somewhere in there.
Hello, this is Sunrise. Nope, not even gonna say it. What can I do for the crew of the Scourge this time?
Excuse me? I assure you I have no idea what you're talking about.
I keep telling you I'm sick of all these calls. Quit pestering me. I'm at work.
Look, there is some serious trouble down here, and I hold you personally responsible. If you don't come down here to Asana Town and fix this uprising, I will make your life a living hell.
Well, I guess it's time to move again. Maybe somewhere tropical.
Add the Sirenscape Online player to your virtual tabletop sessions for immersive sounds and epic music broadcast to your players in real time with seamless quality. The online player bridges any distance to bring your gaming group together. Get the Sirenscape Online player today at Sirenscape.com.
YouTube.com/the DaT Network. YouTube.com/the DaT Network. The DaT Network. Man. Whew, that's a mouthful. Heroic Endeavors can be found. No, Heroic Endeavors is... No. Watch past episodes of Dragons and Things Heroic Endeavors on youtube.com/the DaT Network. Okay, I got it. Whew, all right. Now to record.
The wrong sound is never right. Don't let the wrong sound ruin the moment at your gaming table. Sirenscape has dozens of sound sets designed by gamers for gamers that add the atmosphere you need for epic tabletop gaming. See? The right sound sounds right. Epic games need epic sound. Journey to Sirenscape.com to download the app for free. And be sure to catch Sirenscape in action on Dragons and Things every Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific on Twitch.
There's
Hey everybody. It's time to be on the show now. It's pizza chat. It's pizza chat time. Welcome back, everybody, to the second half of our awesome Heroic Endeavors adventure. Remember, all of the donations that we're collecting this week are going to be going to Black Lives Matter. And I don't know. I don't really. That's all I wanted to remind you of.
Can I just say they are almost up to 1,000, Jim? Sorry, not to interrupt you, but it's exciting. They're almost up to $1,000 donations. Did I freeze?
$1,000 from you guys this week. That is fantastic. We are really,
look at that.
Really proud of our community and all the support that you guys have shown us and what we're doing this week is absolutely fantastic to see. Because it's important and we believe in it, and we're glad that we're on the same page with that. It is actually really, it makes my heart warm to see. That's right. Everybody's got the hearts now. No, there it is. No, there it is. There we go. Now everybody did it. Let's go ahead and turn to the chat for a little bit. It looks like Silent H is down with pizza.
Lucas Martinez also says pizza.
Pizza is very good.
It's true. I pulled a quote from Lucas earlier.
Well, Silent H was also saying, and how pineapple on pizza is fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Hiss.
It is.
Hiss.
Earlier, Lucas Martinez said, just saying, if Jim Jam wants to have an escaped zoo animal affected by the plant zombie, I recommend a big cat. So it would be a dandelion. And then he showed himself out.
Very nice, Lucas.
Yeah.
Brian Newmanator came in for $10 for the cause, giving an edge to both myself and Oopsie. Thank you so much, Brian Newman. Thank you for supporting a good cause, and of course, supporting me and Oopsie along the way. So thank you for that.
Give yourself a pickle, Brian.
We also got cheers from Scott Denuzzo, Luna Steel Song, I'm in for life, and Sarah BC1 gifted a sub earlier to It's Lucas Martinez. So thank you all so much. Again, we're trying to climb that ladder back up on our subs.
Nice.
So thank you.
It does look like, thanks to I'm in for life, Pipa is up to 2 hero points now. So
nice.
Yes.
Bam,
I think
bam.
Scott Denuzzo gave me the first one, so thank you so much to both of you.
Fantastic. So y'all, we've sort of come out of initiative momentarily because Kanshaka, you were rushing after Oopsie, who had just who'd been infected with this enthralling pollen and has just been making his way mindlessly towards what you know is a horrible plant known as the yellow musk creeper. It hopes to infect him with its seed and make him a carrier that will not only spread its weird will onto others, but it will eventually, over time, cause him to sprout another full-grown yellow musk creeper that will continue this plague of plant zombie apocalypse across the city if left unchecked. Both creatures have just, both Oopsie and one of the very first victims of the pollen have just disappeared into a dark storefront. You are alone. You can hear the distant sounds of your companions, but they've fallen behind you. What do you do?
Do I see Kanshaka running towards the dark area that we can't see anymore?
You know, or is he gone? All of you out in the street, you know that Kanshaka went down the alley. You saw Oopsie go down the alley, but they are both out of sight at this point. You cannot see where they are currently.
Okay. I stand up and I say, be careful to buttress your mental defenses. This poison is not like any that I have combated before. Be careful.
With a 0 in intelligence, Khan is going to do the following. Because Oopsie and the guy already went through the door, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay. Khan's going to run back until he can meet up with Barry, who should have been running towards Khan at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Barry, go get the rest and come around. Come around. You're gonna see a big door. It go woo, woo, big evil dark door. Bring you and all the group into the dark door. I gotta go get Oopsie.
It feels like a very complicated plan for a bear. So I'm going to have you make a nature check to see if it can accomplish something similar to what you've commanded it to do.
Oh yeah, it's got it.
That's a 1 on the die.
Okay, Barry goes lumbering off. You tell it to do all these things, and he does go lumbering off towards the main street.
I'm in for life likes math games and has brought us up to $1,001 by donating $6. And I do believe that Sarah BC1 is also playing that game, though of a different sort. And she just dropped $75 for a wild magic.
Wild magic.
Thank you guys so much.
While you look up the wild magic, Jim, I just did want to give a quick shout that I'm in for life's $56 went to 2 edges for the players and 1 single sink for Jim.
Ooh. Ooh.
Thank
yes,
you.
thank you guys so much for that. That's amazing.
One
Going to need it.
for Jim.
I'm going to be a pickle.
Right.
Me a pickle plant zombie.
I'm pickle Oopsie.
Cucumber.
I'm pickle Oopsie.
I'll be real good at pickle hunting.
That's pickle hunting. I was gonna run over to Bartimus because he was down examining the one, right? And you were just screaming, to watch our mental defenses. And I would just look at Bartimus and be like, yes, I do believe that their wills themselves are not actually good. I tried to command the one and it was not working to the best of my abilities.
So it appears that if you have anything to combat their wills, it's a battle of wills is what it is. And so we must persevere, staying strong of mental fortitude and strength. And we must go save our friend Oopsie, or at the very worst, do what must be done and end his painful hell that he is now living in and put him out of his misery.
I don't believe that he's gone into any of that hell yet.
Well, if he does, we should be ready to do the difficult decision.
I don't know that it's going to be very difficult for Bartimus to do that. But as you guys are talking, you do see Barry come running out of the alley. And it looks like he's about to come running up to where you guys are. He seems to, he sort of recognizes you and he knows that you're Kanshaka's friends. But then he sees like this big puddle of water and he gets really distracted. So he rushes over to the puddle of water and he begins splashing up and down in it and rolling around in it and having a grand time. And you start to think, well, obviously Kanshaka can't possibly be in any danger because Barry is totally chill right now.
That sounds like Barry.
He seems fine. Now come, we must save our halfling friend, Oopsie.
As you are standing there saying we have to go save our halfling friend, you hear this voice from behind you say, excuse me, what about saving me? I'm paying good money for protection and there's danger everywhere. You can't go running off into the alleys. There's danger. You have to get me to safety.
Well, yes.
You broke him, Jim.
Well,
there is a bear.
I do believe that if we do not stop the danger that is crippling this city, then you will not be safe anywhere. So I find that doing this is doing that, if you catch my meaning. Plus, you're far more protected with 5 of us than you are with 3 of us.
What am I supposed to do? Just wait here in the middle of the street?
Well,
look, there's dead bodies everywhere.
All right. I have an idea, and I say, Philip, and Philip gets out, and Philip starts flying around and dancing in the air. And I say, there now, isn't that better?
It's a teddy bear. What? I can't. He seems just like he can't even process the anger that he's feeling right now. Look, at that point,
we have to go get our halfling and our druid.
He's actually a goblin.
Who's a goblin? Don't you say that about Khan Shaka. That's a very nice man right there.
So Philip is basically just hovering around this completely red-faced, enraged nobleman as you begin making your way into the alley, calling behind you that he should just wait while you go get your halfling and your druid. Speaking of said halfling and druid, Khan Shaka, you're confident that Barry is on the way with backup.
I trust Barry with my life and soul.
He is clearly going to do exactly what you commanded. What do you do?
I'm going to continue my path and going to run into the run up to and then
up to the shop.
Slowly.
Very good. Very good. Do you want to try a stealth check, or are you just
try
peeking in?
Check.
I don't know, stealthing away. All right.
Yep. Ooh. Oh, I am not stealthy. Okay. 8.
Well, hey, you do your best. The city is not your forte. You're used to being out in the wilderness, and also bears don't have to be sneaky. So it's not something you've ever really cared about being.
No.
However, you do get up to the darkened doorway, and you're looking in, and as your eyes are adjusting, you see that the inside of the shop is in total disarray. Goods lie scattered, shelves broken, displays toppled. At the very far end of the room, you see a horrifying sight. The man who first entered the doorway is on his knees before a large yellow-flowered plant with tendrils dug into the flesh of his head. He makes not a single sound of protest or move to struggle, and as you watch, he suddenly just keels over, and leaves begin to sprout from open wounds on his flesh. The plant's lashing vines reach out just momentarily towards Oopsie, who is calmly making his way closer to the plant. But then your foot splashes down in a puddle, and suddenly the plant becomes alert to your presence, and it's time to roll initiative again.
Ooh, hi. My name is Khan Shaka. I like bears.
I like bears.
I like bears.
Everybody can roll initiative, because I have a feeling that some of you will eventually get mixed up in all of this.
Maybe I should roll initiative again.
Why?
Oopsie.
That'd be an 8.
An 8 for old Oopsie.
Not old, I'm only 7, Jim.
7?
What about Pipa?
7?
I rolled a 3, so that's a 10.
Ooh. Rias?
12.
Oh, man.
Guys.
12 for Rias. They're not impressive initiatives, everybody. Bartimus.
I didn't know we were all playing the Bartimus game. I rolled a 4, so that's an 8.
Guys.
So Oopsie's dead.
If it makes you feel better, Jim, I rolled a 25.
Whoa, Khan Shaka. He's still on the ball.
Well, it makes sense. You're all the way up there, so you're good.
Yeah, the thing is, everybody else isn't really even aware of the immediate threat, but Khan Shaka, you are. And this plant suddenly becomes aware of your presence, and you know it. And you know that you have seconds to react before it turns its deadly vines upon you. What do you do?
I'm going to go ahead and produce flame. And
sure, you produce that flame.
And yeet it at the core.
Produce and yeet a flame, yes. It is within your range, so go ahead and make a ranged spell attack.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits.
Okay, what is the range? I think that's still 1d4 plus. Sorry, I know I should know my spells, but I don't.
It's all good.
1d4 plus modifier. So 4 this plus 4. 7 points of fire damage.
7 points of fire damage. You can see that the leaves and the vines catch especially quickly, just like you knew they would. You actually deal 12 points of fire damage as this thing, you see it like quaking as it lashes about trying to put out the flames that are spreading across its body. Rias, you would be next, but you're not currently aware of danger. However, if you roll a perception check and you do very well, I'll give you another 2 actions to react. Otherwise, you'll just move forward as normal.
Perception 18.
18. You do hear the sounds of battle as Kanshaka unleashes flame ahead of you. You know that you might want to pick up the pace because something bad is happening ahead of you.
I would just shout back to the rest of them, let's go, Barry! Psst, come on, Barry! I don't think his
Barry loves that puddle and is not getting out of it.
Well, I'll just be like, yes, the rest of you make sure our man with the plan in the carriage is fine, and I will continue running down the alleyways.
Okay. You go rushing down the alley. You are now within sight of this storefront. And you see Kanshaka standing outside of this darkened doorway, and he has his hand out extended, and you can just see the yellow light of the flames as they're dying away. You know that he is in trouble, but he's producing flames, at least. If nothing else, he's producing flames. And now it is this creature, this plant thing's turn. And it has this long lashing vine that looks like it would be really nasty if it hit you. But that's not what it does. It does not reach out to you with this vine. Instead, this collection of flowers just sort of like tilts towards you, almost like it's looking at you, Kanshaka. And this line of bright yellow pollen just shoots out of these flowers and settles over you. And I need you to make a will save.
That's the wrong save, Jim. That's the right save, Jim. Jesus.
I was like, isn't your wisdom real high?
Yeah, you should be good at that.
25, Jim.
25. You know that if you allow this pollen to affect you, that you'll soon end up just like the man who was discarded onto the floor. And so you know that you have to resist it. So you call upon all of your mental training to maintain control of your faculties. And you resist the effects of the pollen. Not only have you resisted the effects of the pollen, but you are immune to the pollen for a full day. And that is all this plant can do this turn. So Peepa, you heard Rias mention there's danger ahead, and he goes blasting off ahead of you. What do you do?
I would hop on the carriage, and I would say to the driver, let's go! And then I would direct the carriage towards the alley, because I don't want to leave the carriage behind.
Gotcha. You want to take this guy. The carriage driver is looking at you like, isn't that where the danger is? Make a diplomacy check to see if you can convince him to drive towards the danger.
8 plus 8, 16.
16. He says, but I suppose you know best. And he flicks the reins, and the horses start trotting, pulling the carriage along into the alley towards the sounds of combat. The cavalry is on its way. Artemis, what do you do? Apparently, you're bringing the carriage along with you now. So what do you do, Artemis?
Oh, I did not realize that it was time for the carriage to come. Come on, let's go. And Artemis hurries along. Come on, Philip, come on. Sort of dances, flies along. And I will continue on the way.
Okay.
How big is this alleyway, Jim?
I just want to bring the carriage
it's
an eye on it.
It's a tight squeeze, but he does his best to get down there. You realize it's not getting into the alley that's going to be tricky. It's getting out of the alley because you can't back up. It's going to be a whole thing. But you're confident that that Oopsie will be able to drive it out of here if he can. Speaking of Oopsie, it is Oopsie's turn. Oopsie, you are still fascinated for the moment. And I want to check one thing.
Oopsie's a plant now.
Yeah. So basically, Oopsie just walks closer to the plant. And he gets right up next to it, and he sort of like drops down to one knee and then the other. And he's just sitting there swaying gently back and forth. And it is Kanshaka's turn.
I don't want to die, y'all.
Kanshaka is going to charge and kind of tackle Oopsie.
Oh, yeah. That'll do it.
Yeah.
You rush forward and tackle Oopsie, and Oopsie, everything suddenly snaps back into focus. Somebody just like collides with you. A great big bear of a man just grabs you, and you're like, it's like a shock to the system. You're in a store, and there's a big, giant, flowery plant in ahead of you, and you notice that this plant seems to be growing out of the corpse of a man beneath it. And you realize very suddenly that you are in mortal danger and you are no longer fascinated.
Yay.
And it is...
How many actions did that take?
2 actions to do that. So you still have 1 action left.
I will put my hand upon Oopsie's head. It's like, do good, Oopsie. You do good. And cast guidance.
Guidance. Do good, Oopsie. Have some guidance. Rias, you see Kanshaka go blasting into this store, and you hear some talking from inside and some struggling. What do you do?
I'll run up to the door. See what I see inside.
2 actions will get you to the door. You can see Kanshaka and Oopsie are now facing off against this swaying plant that looks very weird. And there's this heavy, musky odor in the air. That just, it almost like sets your teeth on edge. It's very disturbing. It's like it pings the deep instinctive fight or flight responses in your mind.
Okay.
You have 1 action left.
I need to interrupt here.
Okay.
Because there's a wild magic on the board.
You are not wrong. There is a wild magic. We didn't resolve it before.
Oh no!
Who's rolling for the wild magic?
Con was specified by Sarah.
Okay. Ooh, roll for it, Con.
What do I roll? 20?
Wait, yeah. Was it Kanshaka or Adam Con?
Oh, Adam Con. Sorry.
Okay, Adam Con.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Adam
many beautiful names.
It is your turn, so why don't you roll for it?
D10?
D6.
46. That's 2. Number 2. Taking a
2 is a fun one. So, every time that you roll a natural 20 for the rest of the episode, you can bank it and roll again, taking the new result. You can then use a banked D20 at any time instead of making any D20 roll. However, every time that you roll a natural 1, I can bank it and force you to re-roll and accept the new result. And then I can impose that natural 1 on you anytime I choose.
You're terrible. You're terrible.
There's the balance. There's the balance.
Is that one of those things that is just Adam Con, or is that...
Oh, yeah.
This will be just Adam Con.
Yes. Great.
Yes.
Excellent. Cool. I'll go ahead. I'll pull out I'm going to pull out my crossbow right now.
Crossbow's out, and okay. Get the crossbow out. You can see the danger now. It is my turn. Now this creature, it knows. It somehow instinctively knows that it can't affect you with its pollen after you have shrugged off the effects, Kanshaka. It also knows that it is in mortal danger because of your presence. It knows that you are the producer of flames, and it must slay you. So it does indeed lash out with these piercing vines and tries to lash you with its thorns. And this is going to be an attack against your armor class. Ooh, that might do it with a, 27.
Glimpse of redemption.
That's redemption nonsense. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
What is this?
How can a plant even have a redemptive moment? How can it? It is a mindless plant.
The one time it thought about pistols and stamens, Jim.
No.
Guilty.
What's this thing do?
Basically, it makes you feel bad. You feel guilty of.
I'm going to check one thing with Glimpse of Reduction.
Your foe hesitates under the weight of sin as visions of redemption play in their mind's eye.
We had a new follow come in.
Yeah?
You follow?
Yeah, we got a follow from Senri 40K. Thank you so much for the follow.
Thanks for coming, Senri.
Yeah, you made a plant depressed?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to press it like in a book to save the flower.
Oh,
but
don't press me.
I will go ahead and deal no damage.
Yay!
That makes
deal no damage.
The ultimate millennial tool.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I can only do it
but
infinity more times.
I know. Only once every single turn for the rest of your life.
Yeah. It's way
it's a ridiculous ability. Yeah, I mean, I have other actions, so I'll take them. I won't just not take them. I will spray pollen at Rias then. So that is going to be a will save from Rias, please.
Oh, wait. Can I use my counter performance since it's a visionary?
That is not a... Is it a reaction?
Hold
I don't
on.
think you can see it though.
This isn't, and this
there.
also isn't. It's not an auditory based thing. It's so I don't think it would work.
But it's not. It's also. I'll find it. Hold on.
That's going to be an 18.
18 is not a pass. It is in fact a failure. You are fascinated.
No.
Rias just sort of drops his arms to his sides. And begins swaying in place, almost in time to the swaying of the vines. He's just not doing nothing.
It does say auditory or visual, but I'm not in there to know what's going on. Or would that be considered visual?
This is not an auditory. This isn't a visual or auditory effect. It is
Okay.
It is a.
You are.
Yeah, sorry.
It is
Oh, it's fine.
Ace.
I just wanted to ask.
No, it's good. Those bard abilities have always been around in Pathfinder, and it's always like so specific when you can use it. I feel like that's got to be the goal of every bard, is to actually be able to use their counter performances. But after my turn, because it was 2 actions to spray pollen, 1 action to worthlessly attack. So we have to go to Peepa. Peepa, it is your turn. You are on this carriage.
All right, am I to the shop?
Not quite. You can see the shop from where you are.
I'm going to just start inspiring courage and telling the guy to hurry up while doing it. Like, hurry now. We got to go to my friends. Go, go, go.
Okay.
So.
This driver's just like, okay. And he starts driving the carriage forward, inspired courageously by your song.
Inspired driving.
Bartimus.
Oh, boy. I also try to scurry along and hurry up to get into there and battle these plant-like creatures.
Sure, you managed to scurry up. At the end of your action, Bartimus, you would basically be at the doorway right next to Rias, who is acting mighty ornery right now.
Oh, Rias, you seem mighty ornery. I feel I should be the ornery one, as you have taken away one of the abilities that I have. You have proven yourself most useful. Do not be ornery. That's what I got.
That's what you got. Oopsie. You can act of your own free will.
Nobody drives Oopsie.
Hey.
I want to flip my glaive up, and I just want to come down on this plant thing right in front of me.
All right.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it real angry like. 10 on the die plus 8. 18 to hit it.
That's exactly what you needed, my friend.
All right.
Ooh. 4 slicing damage.
Nice.
4 slices. This thing spits some green sap, but it is still thrashing about quite mightily.
I might as well just swing 2 more times.
Who can stop you?
Might as well.
Because I got no other options. I got no fire.
I got nowhere else to go.
One of them is a 4. Which is, I believe, a critical miss.
Don't forget you.
Oh yes,
you
it is a
have,
critical miss.
Don't forget you have guidance.
Oh.
I do have guidance.
Yeah, you give you a extra +1.
5.
Still bad, but
and then the third one is also not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it. 1 strike, but then you get sort of caught up in all of these thrashing.
They call me one
buttons.
strike oopsie.
1 strike oopsie.
That's what I'm for.
Top of the next round, Kanshaka.
I would like to grab the plant.
Grab it.
Yes, like either its stem or something. I would like to grab the plant.
No, Colin, don't do that. You don't want to plant those. Those are not good.
Make an athletics check to try to grapple the plant.
Ooh. Not my worst thing.
Oh, dear me. We will get you some roses or perhaps some daisies, maybe even some begonias, anything else but this.
I believe that was a 23 you were saying?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's a success.
Ooh.
You have grabbed the plant.
As Kanshaka has done in every single heroic endeavor, I am now going to cast Produce Flame.
Okay. Cast Produce Flame.
I guess I still need to roll.
You still need to hit it, yes.
It makes no sense. That is a 11.
That is not a success. You while you've got the plant grabbed, you're finding it very difficult to properly concentrate on the spell, and you can't quite get it off, unfortunately. Oh no, Kanshaka! It is Rias's turn. You are still fascinated, and so you guys watch as Rias just sort of like stumbles up into the store closer to the plant. Nothing else happens.
Oh, dear me.
It is this creature's turn.
Do it.
And this plant is going to attack Oopsie.
Do it.
Here comes the pain. Oop, well, no, because that is a 16 to hit. I know Oopsie's got a big old fat armor class that I cannot overcome with a 16. I will take a second attack against Oopsie. I rolled even worse, and I have less of a bonus, so that's not going to work. I might as well go crit hunting with a third attack.
Here comes the nat 20.
I can only... Oh, nope. It was another 4 on the die. That's 2 4s in a row. What's the point of my dice? They are the worst. And it is time for Peepa.
Am I there?
Yes, you are there.
Okay. I'm going to scurry off of the carriage and I say, thank you. And then I walk in. I'm going to walk in and see what everyone else looks like, what's going on in there. Would I have seen the state of Rias, what he looks like?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that he's just like standing. Like there's this chaotic battle going around him, and Rias is just like standing there in the middle of it, not paying attention to anything.
Can I fascinate him?
You can try to fascinate him, yes.
Try so he doesn't do anything dumb. Maybe he's going to do some dumb stuff. I rolled a 5 plus my 8.
Yeah, you are not able to overcome the mental effect that he is under right now. He just ignores your performance.
My back is to you. That's why.
Can I inspire courage since it's only one
I would say at this point you've definitely used up 3 actions: getting off the cart, getting into the shop, and then trying to fascinate. So So that would be your 3 actions.
Yes,
Bartimus,
right.
it's time for what you will do.
Oh, well, Bartimus has a great many things to do. He says, hey, now you give us back our halfling. Oh, you seem all right, Oopsie. Good job. You keep hitting it. Now also give us back our alchemist in training. And I go running up to Rias, who I believe is in front of me.
Yep.
Although because I do know that fire works to stop the fascination. Yeah, no, I go running up to him and I say, dear boy, I am so sorry for this, and I smack him upside the head.
God.
Hard like.
And you just reach out and smack him across the back of the head, and Rias, like, you shake it off. Suddenly, like the stinging pain in the back of your head brings you back to reality, and you realize that you were about to just walk into this thing, and who knows what would have happened to you after that. But you are yourself once again, thanks to Bartimus's quick and thoughtful intervention.
And I say, please don't be mad at me, and I'm just a humble Bartimus. And then I go to pull out my a potion for next round.
Gotcha. So you've got a potion in hand after saving Rias from a certain death.
I'm just a humble Bartimus.
I'm just a humble Bartimus.
Okay. So Rias is cool now, right? He's sorted.
Yes, Rias is cool now. Everybody that you can see is cool at the moment.
All right.
We're like the coolest.
How tall is this thing, Jim? Like,
it's pretty big. It's a pretty big planet. It's almost as tall as your human-sized friends.
And then, does it have roots going into the ground?
No, it seems to be almost like it has just. It actually looks like it sort of shuffles about on these long root-like vines. But it actually looks like it is growing. It is sprouted from the back of a previous victim.
Gross. Okay. I am going to
Laundry 2.
I'm going to try to take the legs out, or the legs out from it with the glaive.
Okay.
I don't know if I can actually trip it, and I don't know the mechanics behind that.
Tripping is much like any of the other CMB checks, or is previously instead of CMB, but now you just use athletics. If your weapon has the trip trait, you can use it to make trip attacks.
Forceful, deadly, reach. Why have I not been using reach?
No.
So, no, I guess I'm just going to regular try and trip it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would have to use your regular goblin body to do that.
Yeah. I'll just
the legs out from under it.
Kind of like reach in and grab one and yank up. Kind of.
Sure.
Oh, that's the Dragons and Things logo, Jim Jam.
Woo! I'm told
well,
that
good
means
for
good
you.
Modifies out to 25 athletics.
Well, you trip the plant.
Yes.
Which I believe deals 1d6 points of... no, if it's on a critical success, it also deals 1d6 points of falling damage. That was not a critical success, but it was indeed a success. So it is tripped.
That was one action.
Yep.
Second action. Is this dropping weapons still free?
Yeah, you can drop weapons as a free action.
I'll drop my glaive.
Okay.
Draw my short sword for my second action. Okay. And then third action, I'll just, because I'm still holding this guy, I'm just kind of with my short sword.
Okay. So tripping has the attack trait. So this attack will be as if it was the second attack for the round.
Copy you. Got it. So I'm only adding +4 to this. It's not horrible. 16 to hit.
If it had been your first attack, you feel like, man, you would have gotten it.
Oh, but oopsie, you have edges. You have edges.
I do have edges.
You have edges.
I do have edges.
And did you add the +1? No, Peepa stopped inspiring. So
I don't know that the edges would get me there, though. But I'll add them.
Of course they would.
I'll add them. What's a 19 do, Jim?
A 19 is a success. That is a hit.
Yeah.
You did it. You have
I
won.
used the edge. thank you guys, Sarah, and I'm in for life.
Hooray!
Huzzah.
And Brian Newman. Forgot Brian Newman there. This is for a total of 7 damage.
7 points of damage. And this plant, you just like hack as it's on the ground trying to like right itself. You just like hack at the roots with your blade, severing several of them. Thin green sap just goes spraying everywhere, almost like blood. And then suddenly the all of the tendrils just like begin flopping aside as it stops moving. And you have destroyed the yellow musk creeper.
We did it!
Yes,
we did it!
You did it!
Huzzah.
I mean,
Yes,
I did so
You
much
did
too.
it.
I got fascinated.
Jim,
Me too.
before too much of that green blood gets spilled, I want to go collect some of that.
Sure. You start collecting some samples.
Oh, yeah, samples from all
No
around.
problem.
Can
Everything
can I
you
go
just said got
check
cut out,
out,
so I don't-
try to squeeze around and check out the. Can I try to check out the body that the plant was growing out of?
Yes, you can. Make a perception check. Or if you actually are like trying to determine like the causes of death and stuff like that, you can do medicine if you've got that trained.
Oh, I'm afraid that one is quite dead, Rias. I don't think there's any saving that.
Yes.
Can I make a perception check around the shop to see why this plant is here? Who put it here? Is someone hiding in the back or like something strange?
14.
Sure.
Oh, come on.
Checking out
14
the plants.
for Rias. Gotcha.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll use one of my edges. 13.
Oh, yeah, I have edges too.
All right.
But no, I already did mine. It was a while ago. I'm not gonna use it yet.
Rias, you can see like this guy. I mean, he's in regular clothing. He looks like it looks like he did suffer some wounds maybe prior to his death, but at the same time, like, I mean, it's really difficult to tell much else just because, again, like most of his body, like this thing like sprouted up out of him like he was a planter. I mean, it's really kind of gruesome and difficult to determine much else. You can't really get a whole lot of distinguishing features of who this person was or why they were here. Everything in here is in total disarray. It looks like maybe there was some kind of a struggle before all of this happened, but you don't see any other bodies. The only other body that you see is the one of the people. There is another of the townsfolk who is lying nearby. They look like they've got some holes that have been like drilled into their head. And Khan Shaka, you actually remember seeing, this is the guy that like whatever this plant had wanted to do, it successfully did to this guy. And you're starting to wonder like, what's going to happen next? Pipa, even as you're looking around, you suddenly notice there's like, it looks like you can very, very clearly see the veins in this guy who's lying here in his arm. But then as you're looking at him a little harder, you realize it's not the veins. You actually see one of them twitch suddenly. This guy, he doesn't even appear to be dead. Like after a moment, Rias, you notice he even like takes a very shallow breath. He's alive.
James Rodehaver, before we move on to that, I had a question. So
yes,
as a player, you have informed us that there are rumors going around that there was a green figure that was seen perhaps letting the animals out.
Yes. Yes.
That type of rumor to me as a player is something I'm well aware of, but would Bartimus connect those? Like, is it so strong of a rumor that I would be like, boy, green person, plant-like things, like would I put those together? Or is that something that would take a little more time to put together.
I see no reason that if you've been hearing about these things, that it wouldn't strike you like, oh wait, there was the zoo escape. Oh wait, now there are these weird plants everywhere, and there are these it's sort of the zeitgeist of the city is like something really bad and weird is happening. And this certainly makes sense.
Do we have any other information outside of there was a green figure that supposedly let out the plants? Was there anything else to
know? The forest there isn't any other concrete information.
We know the Serota forest is being pretty weird.
Yeah, the Serota forest is being weird.
Yes.
Would Khan be able to kind of have a guess at what's happening, being a druid and all?
Well, Kanshaka, you feel like maybe you could make a guess as to what would be causing such a weird uproar.
Hey, Jim. Can I use something I haven't used yet between two of them who's... I have join past, which allows me to touch...
What are all these weird things?
What? You like it? No, you like it. Listen. So...
Do I like it?
It's fine. Listen. 2 willing creatures with touches the target's foreheads. You bring them into mental communion. The targets can share thoughts and experiences, but not words. When one target attempts to recall knowledge, the other can aid the first target's...
Everything.
Talk to the speaker.
Okay, don't get mad. The targets can share thoughts and experiences, but no
I'm really
words,
getting
not
like
words.
none of this. Everything is super broken up right now.
I can hear
My
it.
screen is frozen.
Can you hear me? Or
I don't even know if you can.
Jim, can you hear us?
Hear you. Right?
Jim?
That's
Yeah, I
Jim
can hear
going
you
down.
guys.
Yeah, I think we're just losing Jim is what's happening here.
No.
Jim.
All right, well, let's take a moment here while Jim tries to collect himself. And let's go to a quick comment break real fast to see if Jim gets in here for a moment.
Let's do it.
I'm going to put up the comment button there. Diana, your wording of this entire situation was hilarious, by the way. That Jim is just going, he's going to like it. Trust me, you'll like it. It's for the best.
Fun.
Delirious 2019 has pointed out that JJ the Jet Plane 501 has followed, so thank you so much for the follow.
Thank you.
Follow.
Anybody else got any comments?
Yeah,
Brian's-
I'm in. Sorry.
Go.
I'm in for life earlier said, did you give the driver a 5-star review for Uber or something like that? I forgot where it was, but it was really fun.
I like that Brian Summers calling Jim Jam out for his vocabulary. Says you just don't hear zeitgeist used enough these days.
I don't know, Brian. I feel like zeitgeist. I feel like you hear zeitgeist more in the entertainment industry. Jim, I think we hear you.
Okay, you should be able to hear me now.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Ghost hear you. We just can't see you yet.
I know you can't see me, but we're gonna fix that here in just a second. Hopefully, I do want to let you know, Diana. I heard absolutely none of the description of your very weird ability that you have.
Okay. Okay.
It's a spell, Jim. It's not an ability.
Well, when you're back to normal, I'll read it after comments.
Jim's never going to be normal.
I don't
know if I'm going to be normal here. Things are moving very smoothly.
Imp in my head says, depress the plant again. Oopsie. I dare you.
I could intimidate it too.
Wow. You got a lot of things that you can do.
Intimidate the plant.
And then there was Torger. Torger's trying to help us out. And I mean, I don't know that we can be helped, but wondering, are we going to go back and check on the nobleman?
I mean, that's why I brought the cards, so there can be.
I want to focus on how Bartimus just killed a townsfolk person.
No, that was a mind-controlled, evil yellow musk ornery fella.
I don't know that guy. I'm gonna blow him up with fire. I know this guy. Let's just smack him in the face.
I like to.
I considered fire at first, but then I thought the fire would be more useful, as I can only do it 4 more times. I thought, well, there's this awfully big plant in front of me. I should probably use it there, so I'll try to smack him. And that worked.
I don't know if you saw earlier, but Jen Zhang joined chat. Basically said, "Oh God, the accent," and I think she left.
Oh yeah, she chickened out. Yeah, she did not.
She just immediately.
She's like, "I'm not drunk enough for this."
I was, me like some other people in chat, we were waiting for the plant to start singing, Jim.
So
sing.
James, are you having any success with the call?
When you say any, I can say that technically, yes.
All right. Well, you know what we're going to do?
Am I?
He's back. Hey, you did it.
It's his face.
You did it.
It's his face.
Welcome to Dragons and Things, everybody.
So what
my internet is very angry with me, I can tell you that. And opening a Google Doc was a struggle. So expect this to get choppy.
Wow. That's
what we're doing these plants, Jim.
Getting choppy. Got him.
Getting choppy with it.
Okay.
Chopping broccoli.
I'm going to read you my amazing
so if
spell.
we're joining pasts, what is happening?
Okay.
Read me about this awesome ability.
Thank you.
Love it.
So 2 willing creatures for 1 round. What touches the target's foreheads, you bring them into mental communion. The targets can share thoughts and experiences, but not words. When one target attempts to recall knowledge, the other can aid the first target's skill check using any lore skill, even if that lore wouldn't normally apply without having made any preparations to aid.
Okay. So you want to use this ability to help somebody recall knowledge.
Yes, because part of the crew was fighting the lion at the zoo, and then some of us, I just figured it'd be useful, Bard.
Gotcha. Hey, I'm all for it. What 2 willing creatures past do you want to join?
Well, before all of this, who was talking about, I think Bartimus was trying to talk about knowledge, and wasn't Konshaka?
I was trying to put the pieces together to know if I would know what a green creature that is sentient being able to...
I would tug on the both of you's robes, and I go, come here! And then I place one hand on Konshaka and one hand on Bartimus, and I go, now listen to each other.
Well, all right. Boy, you sure do think about bears a lot.
Does everyone have the same accents? if their blood doesn't produce sugar very well, why do they keep drinking sweet tea?
all you get from Bottomus is just thinking about, I wonder how many more things I can collect here.
Oh.
So Konshaka, I believe that you wanted to make a nature check.
I rolled a 25 at the time.
Okay. I believe that you get an attempt to aid Konshaka using any of your lores, regardless of whether they apply or not. So just whatever your highest lore is, just roll a lore check.
Oh, all right. I will use my mercantile lore, which I think will help greatly in this situation.
It would not, but the spell says it does.
I am going to add my 8 to that 13, which makes it a 21, and then I will add one of my edges as well. I will say that one came from Brian Newman.
You have succeeded in aiding Konshaka's nature check, giving him an additional +1, making his total 26, I believe.
26.
You see, Konshaka, as you dig deep into your knowledge of nature, all you can think about is how well clothing sales would do in such a business.
I'm just gonna put my finger between people's hand and my head. Is like, thank you.
You're welcome. I got to use it for the first time.
I would say I never knew there were so many different varieties of bears.
Oh, the bear.
Pretty much bears. Just him stalking bears. Wrestling bears.
Konshaka and Oopsie.
Sean Kaka.
Sean
and
Paul, what are you doing?
could share pasts. That'd be a very interesting pickle bear pickle situation.
We are playing Pathfinder. Everybody settle down. Kanshaka, your check was successful. You feel like, with the rumors that you've been hearing, with the upsets in the Sorota Forest, with all the things that are now creeping into the city, and the reports of the Green Woman. And one thing about the reports of the Green Woman that you recall that now seems to be sharp in your mind because of money and mercantilism, I think, is that you remember they kept saying she stepped out of the tree. She stepped out of the great tree that stands in the middle of the zoo. And you are recalling that spirits of the forest that might turn their wrath upon a city, you may be dealing with an angry dryad.
Yep.
Which would be bad for everyone. But it could be what's happening. If those reports are true and they're accurate and they weren't just a panic-induced hallucination, there could be a dryad that for some reason is taking vengeance on the people of Cavaloshia.
So you guys know the term Mother Nature? Well, actual physical form could be coming home, and she's kind of pissed that we didn't turn off the oven in time. Long story short, could be a dryad. If it is a dryad, bad, super bad. They don't care about my love for bears, or much else other than nature. And I mean, we did just kill a pretty magical plant. Hey, people, do you know much about dryads? I mean, you are the closest thing to like a dryad that I've ever seen, but you're much smaller and less murdery. Not by much, but slightly less murdery.
Let me roll and see. I'll use another edge. Thank you for my edges. So I rolled a 13 plus 1, 14 plus 5, 19. Math.
19. Dryads are certainly creatures that you've heard of before. You know that a dryad typically is indeed considered a watcher or protector of the woods surrounding where they live. You aren't currently necessarily aware of a dryad that lives in the Sorota Forest, but if something had happened in the Sorota Forest that a protector felt was such a violation that they would start punishing the people of the city. I mean, some of that's like these are just sort of thoughts that are floating around in your head as you're thinking about all this. Maybe somebody did something that angered the dryad, and it is somehow seeking some form of justice for this. You're not sure.
Did someone steal a piece of fruit when I told them not to take it? Con! I'm gonna look at Kanshaka.
I'm sorry. I believe, Kanshaka, you mentioned that I left the oven on. I don't think that I left any oven on. I'm very good about my utensils that I use for cooking up my alchemical agents. I do not believe this was me.
No, I was using Purples of Hyber. Anyway, no, something must have happened. I don't know what could possibly have happened to anger the spirit of the forest, and now is taking vengeance on us. Kind of like Mother Nature's sick of your shit.
Well, do you think it has to do with Fanray and the secret mission?
Is Matt I left ladder? I'll go get ladder.
No. It was the ladder. That's what did it.
It seems you all have been on some other missions. What type of secret mission are we talking
pickle
about?
hunting. Yes.
Oh, pickle hunting. Well,
yes.
That is fantastic. What type of pickles did you gather?
He's kind.
Oh, so just plain old boring pickles. Now, come on now. You can't kid a kidder. All right, I can tell when you all is bluffing to me, and I can tell. I have a keen sense of observation, and I know that halfling did not go hunting pickles anywhere. All right, he just bought those pickles. Those are normal pickles.
Oh, we saw them from a supplier of his.
All right. You stop lying to good old Bartimus here. Bartimus does not tell you no lies. Now you tell him some truths, all right? I'll be stern with you.
So, if I'm being honest with you guys, so, as Khan slowly walks away from people, kind of hides behind Oopsie, there was a fruit that we found, and one of the first things with a young boy who he's a man now because he took out a magical boar all by himself. Yes, he did. Anyway, so I may have taken one of those fruits, and I just wanted, because it's a good fruit, it would be super powerful.
I told you not to take the fruit, and I get really angry. My teeth like show. Sorry, I told you.
Yes. But it was good fruit. I'm like, fruit that does good things, and it was endangered. I just wanted to unendanger it. So what do you do when something's in danger? You take it and put it in a safe area, and then you slowly try to find a place to grow it so it'll grow naturally, and then people can eat the fruit.
No, you stole it because it's an expensive fruit.
Did you put that fruit inside the oven? Is that what we're talking about here?
No. Khan actually takes offense. Khan stands up and says, "Look at me. Does it look like I paid for anything?"
No, he's dirty.
He's dirty, not wearing anything. Really.
All right, so you took a fruit. All right, let's just give the fruit back.
No, it's not that easy. It rots after a couple of days.
Well, then why is it so rare? That sounds like a normal fruit.
Not a couple days after picking. That's a little fast.
What?
It's the type of fruit that it was. It was very hard to come by, one that we did not come by easily.
All right, are we just talking about pickles again? Because you cannot kid a kidder. I have told you this.
No. He took fruit when we saved Sandoval on the boar hunt, and magic fruit, I think. He made a map, yes. I think.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a star map. It was right off the road, a little bit off the road by Sandoval.
But
you were there. Your voice was slightly different then.
Yeah. Goblin puberty.
Ah.
Now, do we know if Fenray took anything as well?
I don't.
Because it was the 5 of us, was it not?
I don't think she took.
Fenray didn't take the fruit. Fenray did not take the fruit.
So what did she do?
Not take the fruit.
Well, all right then. It sounds like it's just Kanshaka who took the fruit.
So we give Kanshaka to Dryad. Kanshaka, you go Dryad. Sorry.
Yeah, you just go talk to the Dryad. It sounds like you could have a conversation and sort of have a discourse the way you talk it out.
No.
Do crime, you do time.
Oh,
I know do crime. Fruit grows. It's there to be eaten.
But I told you not to pick the fruit.
Yeah. People say that fruit say don't take.
I have never seen anything quite as exquisite as an angry little plant creature. This is fascinating to me. People, have you mulled over my offer for just a slight sample of your tissue?
As great as it is, all of us speaking about these plants as well, what are we going to do with this giant mess? We can't just leave it here.
That's the guy outside.
Oh, no, we should be helping that gentleman out there. This is, quite frankly, none of our business. It sounds like you've got some sort
giant
of...
mess Ambrose.
if there's some sort of secret mission that you were on, perhaps the person that got you on that mission could deal with this particular instance with the fruit. But this is not our deal. I have been promised 3 scales.
What's Kanshaka?
And what? Well, yes, all right, it was Kanshaka. Anyways, why don't we go take the man over across town?
Yes, that's a good idea. The plants are dead. Let's go. And Khan just to walk out.
Can we burn the
I follow Kanshaka, and I'm behind him poking at him, and I'm going, this is not over.
Hey, you're adorable, but I will burn you.
Well, now, hold on. Let's not fight amongst the group here, all right? It's clear the Kanshaka was wrong, and he's very sorry about that, and one day perhaps he will rectify that situation. But until then, let's take this nice, calm man over here who's being entertained by Philip and being all quiet like, so thank you, sir, and we will just take him all the way across town to his jewelry shop.
Yes.
And just leave this plant and everything here right inside this room without doing anything with it.
Well, perhaps we could tell the authorities, who are probably clearly already on their way as there are dead bodies out in the street. This would be a horrible town if they didn't show up in time.
Well, I do suppose there is probably a bear playing in that puddle, and they come down the alley and we'll see that it is blocked by a giant carrier.
Oh, goodness, you're right. There's a bear playing in a puddle, and there are dead bodies. They are going to get all sorts of confused about this. We need to go get...
Con bolts. Con's gone.
But there's a carriage in the way.
Screaming for baby. Run over that carriage. This is Cat's life grace.
Trying to be a point of reason.
Chaotic mess of a group.
Oopsie, not chaotic. Oopsie, neutral good.
As Kanshaka, you bolt... realizing that Barry is still out there somewhere, you know you have to go collect him. As you are all making your way out, and Rias, you're sort of like standing in the middle of the shop, like, look at, what are the guys? Hey, the man who you had determined was not dead suddenly begins to like groan and sort of and it looks like he's trying to like push himself up onto, like, he's still very weak. It looks like he's trying to push himself up so he can get up, but he keeps like falling, falls forward, and it looks like he's starting to come around, but you can see like beneath his skin, like occasionally like just these bulging growths as he is indeed actively transforming before your eyes.
Oh,
that was my question. Was he moving like the plant?
Oh yeah, no, you guys could tell that like very soon he is going to be a problem. He is currently not a problem, but it is probably going to be an issue pretty soon.
Time to kill.
I'm going to yell back up, like, he's still moving.
Oopsie fix. Yes. I just charge it with my glaive.
Okay. You charge it with your glaive and just like jab him in the back. Sap and blood in equal mixture just sprout out of the wounds. And after a moment, like, he just falls flat and still and does not move or groan again.
I want to bring back a piece of flesh for Bartimus.
Huh?
Okay.
I said, I'm glad that guy probably had no information for us.
Yes.
Luckily.
That's not what I was going to ask him at all.
Luckily. Kanshaka, you collect your bear, who did not do any of the things that you asked it to do. But is equally happy, is just like happy to see you and acts like nothing is wrong. You are reunited. Your charge, who at this point has been sitting out in the carriage, listening to you guys argue about dryads and plants and fruits, doesn't say a word to anybody for the rest of your trip into the bright but you are able to complete your delivery of him to Precious Things, a jewelry store in the Bright Quarter, without any other further business.
And then I pull out the documents that we have for the mission, and I hold them out in front of him, and I say, I trust that our service was satisfactory. If you will just mark down 5 stars here at the bottom, we will be on our way.
He just sort of looks at you and looks at the survey, looks at you, looks at the survey again, just turns around walks into the jewelry shop and
you
disappears
don't need to get a
inside.
pen. I have a pen. Yeah, I'll get it for you. And I just marked 5 stars.
The driver at this point sort of steps off the carriage and says, I believe that payment was settled with your employer, so you'll be collecting from them. I would leave Master Ambrose alone out of this. I don't believe that he was pleased with the service, but at the same time, I suppose we are here safely, so I guess job complete.
Well, now, sir, before you leave, I just have one question for you. Had you ever in your life seen a dancing, flying bear before?
No, I had not.
Well, then it couldn't have been that bad a day, could it? Good day. And I turn around and start to head back.
The dwarf driver just looks thoroughly flummoxed as all 5 of you head back towards HEI headquarters. With your job technically complete. You make it back to HEI, and you can see that there is a hubbub of activity. In you guys, especially, are sort of pulled aside almost immediately when you arrive. One of the administrators, the scarred elf that you are very used to dealing with at this point, sort of sits you all down in this room. He seems very, very concerned. Normally, you're used to him looking very beleaguered, and he's always rushing around as if he has a million things to do, and you're simply not on a list of priorities. But right now, he seems very calm and measured, but very worried. You can sort of read the anxiety. Maybe calm was the wrong word, because he just looks very measured. He looks like he's really trying to process a lot. He says, "Well, so we've reviewed what happened today. First, of course, you were able to keep the client safe and reacted to an unexpected turn of events admirably. So, good job. You will, of course, be paid 3 scales for the day. But I believe that we may have a wider problem in the city than we were aware of until about an hour ago. After collecting witness reports from the incidents that you were involved in, we've also noted several reports worth the City Watch that indicate that this is not the only sighting that has occurred today. Last night, people were attacked at 3 different locations in the city by similar creatures. We think that there is some sort of outbreak that is developing, and we're going to have to work in conjunction with authorities to keep that from spreading, as it seems to be doing so alarmingly fast. We actually have an opportunity here. Locals have barricaded a warehouse on Barrow Street and locked it down, and there's a report that some of these creatures are inside. We believe that we can be of aid to the city by offering to clear the warehouse, but our motives, I admit, we have another goal here in mind. A very learned alchemist and scholar that we work with believes that these creatures are not lost, and that if one of these creatures could be brought here alive, as they are indeed alive and not undead as we first assumed and those who first saw them assumed, we believe that if we could get them into this facility safely, we could study them and determine exactly what it is, of course, that we're dealing with. I would like to send you to do this, as I believe that some of you have already been exposed to the pollen and are thus immune to its effects, and therefore it is quite honestly safer to send you than it is to send other people who may be more susceptible to it. If you could go, clear the warehouse of these creatures, but bring us one of them here. It must still be alive. We need a living specimen. At that point, you will assist our researcher in trying to see if their experimental medical procedure can indeed save the host for this plant parasite. And if that's possible, why, we could have a cure on our hands, which would be quite profitable for the company.
Oh, good. I was going to volunteer myself for the Yep. All right.
We do need you to go now if we're going to develop this cure and of course distribute it. We need to be the first ones to do it.
Where
for legal reasons.
We get wagon? Bring back?
Oh yes, we will be supplying a wagon with an area that you can safely transport the captured specimen. Yes, indeed.
Well, excellent. Our halfling driver, Oopsie, is a fantastic pilot of carriages and wagons galore, as well as boats and any other vessels you could.
Oopsie drive dog too,
including dogs. Isn't that amazing?
He's more than welcome to drive the wagon. Yes.
Well, you hear that, Oopsie? You get to drive the wagon.
Oopsie's already out the door to the. He's in the motor pool. He's waiting for this wagon.
Well, I'm ready. Who else is ready?
Let's go.
Let's do this.
What part of town do we have to head to? Where is this warehouse at?
He provides an address. You know the area. Let's see. I had it written down and I lost it.
Is this the same warehouse we went to?
No, this is not a warehouse that you have currently been to. I had that. I had a street name. I was prepared, and I can't find it in this document. So you know where it is. You can get there.
Jim, on our way over there, obviously, it sounds like those in our party have more of an intimate knowledge that there's some stuffs going down in the forest, and now we've got this dryad situation that's happening here in the city as well. Yeah. Is there anything else in the realm, the news-wise, that is coming in? Like, are travelers saying that they're experiencing problems in the forest, or any other cities?
Make a society check.
All righty, I will make a society check.
This is actually a check. I'd be darned.
Oh, all right. I'm not rolling bottomuses today. I will tell you that. 22, and I will add 2 of my edges to that.
Okay.
Oh, holy cow. Hang on. This is important. Daners, I believe you know Daners, Jim.
I do know.
Daners has donated quite a bit of money. She says it's all your money. No, hang on. I'm just kidding. She says $5 to help Jim, then $10 to help Lamar, hashtag Black Lives Matter, $5 to help Diana, $5 to help Jared, $5 to help Adam Rady, $5 to help Adam Kahn. I believe the hashtag Black Lives Matters was because of the cause, and that was associated with all of those various donations.
Yes, indeed.
Dana.
Thank you so much, Dana. Thank you for helping us and for helping the cause.
Edges for everyone.
God, we're so edgy, guys.
That's excellent. And I believe our donation is now over 1,100 for the week.
Hey.
Woo, woo, woo.
You still got things in space coming.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Stuff.
Sorry, Jim. So using 2 of my buffs would take me to a 24 for society.
24. The major things have definitely been all of the events that you're currently already aware of. You do know, having surprisingly enough been paying attention, I guess, to the news of late. There have been some reports, a lot of operations that were going on in this sort of forest have been put on hold for various reasons, some of which are public, some of which are sort of just more like, hey, these things have been put on hold without a reason given. But it certainly makes sense if there's a lot of disruption going on, that perhaps there is sort of a widespread pattern of danger that you've definitely seen a lot of the big things. But now that you're aware of that, you're also starting to piece together that maybe some of these other smaller stories are also related to this, and there is some kind of very serious issue going on. It could indeed all be connected.
Okay. Yeah, let's go to this warehouse. And I inform everybody that there's, now that I've thought about it, there certainly are some other things, and I kind of point all those out to them and mention that, boy, this oven theory of yours is really heating up.
Yes.
Take away
Oh, sorry.
In the cart, are there ropes or chains or a box or anything?
Yes, so the cart that they have outfitted for you actually has, you can all ride in it, but it also has like a caged off area where if you needed to sometimes you take on like bounty hunting jobs and stuff like that too, where you have to transport somebody who might need an area to be in where they don't pose a danger to you. So this is one of those wagons, and Oopsie is given the reins without question. He can drive that wagon as you begin making your way towards this warehouse.
Oopsie's just the happiest guy you've ever seen. Just driving this thing.
How happy? What's his face look like? Not even looking at the road.
He doesn't even care that there's zombie plants running around.
You realize all of a sudden that the reins that he has aren't really connected to anything. There's another driver who's actually driving. He's just like the kid with the controller who's playing Nintendo.
Yep, but he's getting player 2 treatment. I get it.
Yeah, I'm carefully following the movements of Oopsie's hands as he would be steering the car, and I'm noticing that it feels like he's trying to aim for the puddles and the people that are all along the street.
You realize that he would have flipped the cart like in the first 3 minutes. You wouldn't have even left the HEI parking lot before he flipped the cart. But luckily, somebody else is driving. No. Oopsie's a good driver, and he gets where you're going safely. The wagon rumbles through the streets for maybe 20 minutes before you come to a stop. And when you look out, you see the warehouse is surrounded by a group of people who are presumably ones who have set up the barricades around the doors and the windows that you can see. One of these people notes your approach and walks over as you're getting off the wagon. He points to a ladder that leads up to the roof and says, well, we got the lower level access blocked off, so them shambly things can't get out there, but there's a skylight on the roof that you can come on down through. Now, we think there's a couple of them things in there, but we didn't really get a head count. We all just kind of pitched in and blocked it off so we could keep ourselves safe. So you just you go on there and clear them out. Now, I understand that you're supposed to bring out one of them things kicking. So you just knock on the door 3 times, and then you pause, and you knock 2 more times, right? And that's how we're going to know to move the barricades and let you out the front door, okay?
Well, I say, what is your name, dear boy? I like the cut of your jib. You seem to have a voice about you that I just relate to.
Oh, my name is Dave.
Well, all right, Dave. I am Bartimus, and this here is Philip, and there's Conchaka, Oopsie, Peepa, and Rias.
Well, hello. It's good to see you coming to our rescue. They say you guys are heroes. Is that right?
Oh, well, some of us are, and some of us are just humble Bartimuses.
All right, humble Bartimus. You look like a hero to me. I wouldn't be going in there. Them things is scary. I heard that if they hit you, then you turn into one of them.
I put a hand on his shoulder and I say, my dear Dave, you and the others like you are heroes yourself. When action was needed, you jumped in and you made it happen, and you have protected others. Now, let the paid licensed heroes take it from here, but know that you, sir, are a hero. Deep down in your heart. Forever and always.
Khan's walked away.
You can see that Dave is just kind of like, maybe, but thank you, and he's sort of blushing. Doesn't seem to know how to process all the attention, but Khan Shaka has already made his way over to the ladder, which indeed leads right up to the roof. What do you guys do?
On my way to follow Khan up the ladder, I walk over, very intent to the ladder. I pause in front of Dave, hand him up a pickle. Oopsie fix. And then I go climb the ladder.
Dave takes your pickle and crunches on it thoughtfully as he watches you ascend.
At some point, I would lean over to Khan Shaka, perhaps after we get up the ladder and we're on the roof. And out of earshot of everybody else, I'd say to him, my dear Khan Shaka, name your price, dear boy. What is it that you want for that fruit?
Oh, unfortunately, I don't want any money. I don't really use it or need it. because bears don't really care about money, and plants don't take it. I just wanted the fruit because it's good fruit and it's delicious and it's nutritious. Really, like literally nutritious. Like the best thing you could possibly eat. Like if you got like cut and you ate it, the cut will like heal over real quick.
Well, now, my boy, do you still have a piece of this fruit? Because I would happily take a small sample of that, and I would trade you in kind.
Oh, no, good sir. I'm already talking to somebody about using the seeds to something else, but I don't. We gotta keep it hush hush right now.
Well, now, my dear boy, I happen to have some very valuable, and I can't say this too loudly. I happen to have some valuable eggs, my dear boy. That perhaps we could make a trade in kind.
I saw those eggs. Those are eggs of not bears. I don't like those eggs.
Well, they could be made into a bear. You don't know what the alchemical ends could be.
Khan slowly backs away. Thank you, sir, but no thank you, sir.
Well, just think about it there, Khan Shaka. You are a smart, savvy businessman.
Thank you.
You all in due time make it up to the roof, where you do indeed see that there are several large skylights that look like they can be opened to allow air to move in and out and to provide sunlight for the workers down below. And right now, none of them are open, but it does look like they could very easily be opened or smashed if they had to be. What do you do?
How high are these skylights?
You're probably about 20 feet up. It's a pretty large domed building.
And can we see any of the creatures walking around in there?
Sure. Make a perception check.
19.
19. It is pretty dark down there. Since all the windows, it's getting later in the day. And on top of that, all of the ground level windows, at least, have been boarded up. But it does look like every so often you'll see like some shuffling movement as something down below moves. And then just as you're about to turn away, it's really hard to get a count because like they don't seem to be like grouped together or moving in any kind of, like sometimes you'll see like movement and you're not even sure like, okay, well, was that the one that I just saw 3 seconds ago, or is it a different one? Like it's really difficult to tell. You know that there's at least a couple of them down there. But then just as you're about to turn away, you see what looks like maybe a bull or an ox that like starts moving around. Like it makes no sense. It's like somebody let a cow into the building and it's also down there.
Is cow plant?
Well, that's an interesting question to ask. Is a cow a plant? In some ways, you can grow a cow. In some
I walk
ways,
over and grab the ladder off the side of the building.
The cow is in there.
The ladder is actually like the rungs are attached to the building to allow roof access, so it's not like a ladder that you can pull up. There is, however, sorry, I forgot to mention because you were looking down there. There is a catwalk not too far below the skylights, and then there's like stairs that go from the main floor to the catwalk. So you aren't in danger of like just falling down the 20 feet. And
I mean, oopsie jump. You don't care.
You could do that.
Well, now, I have an interesting proposal for you all. If all we're to do is to get one of these creatures, when they seem to be fairly mindless, why don't we just sort of go fishing for one? We could lower down a rope and just sort of snag it and pull it up.
You tie Oopsie to rope, Oopsie grab you, pull up. Oopsie small.
I like that plan even better. There's a sort of pageantry to it.
Maybe get the cow?
Jim, I'm going to look at the cow and see if we can make a nature check to see if it's a plant cow.
Sure, make a perception check, see if you can find it as it's moving about down there.
I can cast light down there.
That's a 10.
10, yeah, it's difficult. Like there's a lot of shadows. There's a lot of like boxes and crates and stuff, so you're not even sure where he's talking about this creature.
That's a bad guy.
Difficult to see.
I can cast light as well.
You can.
Well, we don't all need to brag about our abilities, people. I have the gift of gab. Oopsie can drive carts.
Hand me something, please. I look at Barnabas.
All right. I hand her a handkerchief.
Okay.
Then I cast light on it.
Okay, it glows.
Is it used?
And then that's why I'm holding it at the edge. And then
That's the used edge.
Great. And I throw it down one of the skylights after opening the
you open the skylight and it goes and it just starts fluttering down, and it gets caught on the catwalk. It doesn't get down to the ground.
Guys,
well, now cow knows.
Does anyone have rope that long?
Oopsie have.
I do.
Well, Oopsie, I do think that this is a mighty fine plan, and we have a lot of bodies down there on outside that they look like strong, able-bodied individuals that we could all help out, get them and lower you down there, and then pull up together.
Actually, if memory serves me right, which it doesn't a lot of times, but if memory serves me right, we're actually supposed to stop we're supposed to stop all this stuff, because if we just grab one and run away and then we don't take care of the problem, it could grow and then they could break out of the barrier that's here. So we should actually probably take out the ones that we're not going to capture.
Well, let me look in the folio. I look in the folio. Is that what that says in the folio?
It does note that you are supposed to secure the area. However, you also note that the entire point of this experiment is to see if this condition can actually be cured with an experimental procedure. And you're wondering, if these people can be cured and you kill them all, then these are presumably people that could be cured that you're killing.
Oh.
I raise my hand for the Lauren Oopsie plan, Mission Impossible style, which I don't know what it is, but
he's already tied the harness around him. He's Oopsie Jenkins. He's ready to go.
Oopsie has already leapt in. Oopsie's already grabbed one of these creatures and is halfway back to the headquarters.
All right. Here's all the time.
I shout over the side. Dave, could you and a couple of your fellows down there help us out in some very safe, non-dangerous situation? We are simply going to lower down one of our own, and we need the muscle to help raise them back up with this rope.
Dave looks a little confused at first. He's looking around. Make a diplomacy check. Give yourself a +1 bonus because you were previously so nice to Dave.
Tell him help Oopsie. He gives pickle.
Oh, diplomacy, you say? I wonder if I have any points in that. Oh, I do. All right. With the +1, there's a dirty 20, and I'm going to add another one of my edges to make it a 21.
I think that'll do it. Sort of puffed up a little bit from all of the previous compliments that you showered upon him, telling him he's a hero. Now he has a chance to really participate in an actual heroic endeavor. And he sort of talks to a couple of his buddies, and sure enough, within about 5 minutes, you've got 3 extra able-bodied men up on top of the roof. We're like, okay, well, what is it that you want us to do? We're here to help.
Well, it's very simple. We're going to tie this rope. Well, that rope's already been tied, actually, around that small halfling there. And then we're going to hold the other end of it, and we're just going to lower him down, and he's going to go fishing for one of them there critters. And he's going to try to pull it up.
Before Oopsie goes, I just go Oopsie, go, and cast guidance.
I want to check to see how well he tied the rope because he was doing it to himself. I want to make sure.
Make a perception check.
So Jim, that's a natural 1.
Oh, I'll keep that one. Go ahead and have a different roll.
Thanks, Con.
I'll hold on to that natural 1 for my own benefit.
I'm going hanging over a field of monsters or nothing.
Yeah, that's terrible, Con.
This was your guys' choice, not mine. It's going to be an 8.
You've done a bad thing.
8 total. Now, is that total or on the die for your second one?
No, that's total.
Okay. Sure. It seems neat. It seems like.
Oops. It seems like you did just fine.
Thank you.
Does anyone want to
you hold Oopsie's pickles? He'll be back for them.
You want me to hold your pickles?
And I give Reyes my pickle pouch.
That's trademarked.
Pickle pouch.
Pickle pouch. All right, I'm ready.
Con and Barry grab the edge of the rope.
Okay. The three helpertons who you've called up grab onto the rope as well.
I will be supervising this endeavor, and I will be the eyes and the ears of it, and I will be leaning down peering through the hole.
I will lean as well because I have no strength.
Okay. You guys are looking over the edge, watching. Rias, is there anything that you wanted to do?
Yes. I'm actually, just in case, oopsie, if you get into any trouble at all, I'm going to go up, I'm going to touch Oopsie on the shoulder, and I'm going to cast Undeath's Blessing on him.
Oh.
What's that do?
So basically, instill the touch of the grave. For the duration, harm spells that treat the creature as undead and heal spells treat creatures as living. So you get healed by harm spells and by healing spells as well, too. In addition, harm spells gain a +2 status bonus to the hit points restored to the target.
So you can blast me with a magic missile or something.
Yeah, I can hit you with like harm spells and I can heal you for it. So.
That's pretty cool.
Neato. That's a good spell. I hadn't heard of that
dope.
one yet.
Yeah, I don't do heal spells, so that's the only way I can really heal people really well.
Nice.
So you are kind of dead now.
You're a little bit dead, and being lowered.
Always dead anyway.
Yeah, that's my sorcerer focus spell that I can do.
That's cool. That's a really cool.
That's a good spell.
That's solid. How long does that last?
A minute.
Nice. Okay.
So,
we can only hope that Mission Impossible does not last for more than a minute. As you begin to get lowered down into the pit, I will have probably Kanshaka, because you were the one sort of at the head of all this. I'm going to have you make a strength check, and for every person that you're helping, you're getting an additional +1 to that. So that's 3 people who are on the rope from down below. So that's a +3 to this on top of your normal strength. Athletics, sorry. That's
thank God.
Yeah, athletics.
Not terrible. That's 16.
Okay, you are able to very steadily lower Oopsie down, down, down until he's just above the surface of the floor. Now, Oopsie, because you are sort of like on this rope and you don't have your range of motion, I'm going to say that you're flat-footed, but not immobilized. You can basically move within a limited range around where you are if you need to. But I would say that you are flat-footed at the moment. And what do? You're dangling right now.
First of all, I want to thank you for not using that natural 1 and lowering me down, because that's where Ben would have used it. Sure. Let's see. Is that cow anywhere near me?
Make a perception check.
That cow.
I want everybody to take a moment and remember the scene in The Sandlot when they're all peering over and trying to hit the ball.
Exactly it. 13. 1-3.
13. You don't notice. You know what? So here's what we're going to do. You don't notice anything right away. But what we are going to do is we're all going to roll initiative. Now, Kanshaka, I'm actually going to have you roll your athletics as your initiative check. Everybody who's on lookout is going to roll perception as normal.
Athletics is worse, though.
Brick!
I rolled 10 for every initiative tonight. I mean, 3. I rolled 3. Did you roll another 1? Stop.
Oh, did you get another 1, Rias?
Rias is not playing this game.
Rias, don't worry. I'm going to let you roll your initiative again so that I can bank that natty 1.
Roll it again?
No, I did not. But my dice hate me tonight. That's a 3 on the die. So
Jesus. Oopsie gonna die.
Rias tried to talk to me a voice of reason.
By the power of tear, guys. I got an 8.
Oh.
All right. This is all adding up to success.
Sorry, Jared.
I'm on a 23 if that matters.
Hey, it does matter.
Michael
actually.
Jordan.
Oopsie. It's good because you're kind of on your own on this one, so it's really good that you're going early. I'm sorry, Bartimus, what are you at?
Oh, my boy, I'm at an 18.
Hey, that's actually a good initiative.
Bartimus has decided to play the game tonight.
What's happening?
Let's see. Am I forgetting anything? Rias, what was your total? Sorry.
8.
8 for Rias. Oh, no. All right.
It was on a 17. It goes 17-3.
Oopsie. You're feeling kind of vulnerable now that you're actually down here. You're looking up and your companions, they seem so far away from you. And then you hear like something thud and like knock over a crate and movement towards you. And you realize very suddenly that maybe offering to be bait was not the best choice. However, you are currently safe. Now, basically, if there's any actions you want to take, you can. Just as a reminder, in case anybody wants to ready an action, it is 2 actions to ready an action. So basically, you spend 2 actions on your turn to ready an action for a trigger. Just so you're all aware. And oopsie, what do you want to do?
I'm still free swinging essentially.
Yeah, you're basically like you're the tips of your feet can like touch the ground, but you're not actually like on the ground.
Can I wiggle out of the harness but still leave the loop there?
Yeah, go ahead and make acrobatics.
It's not the worst. 13.
13. It takes like all 3 of your actions to sort of wriggle out of the harness because you're trying to also make certain that the loop is going to be there so you can sort of dive back into it if you need to, or perhaps trap something in the loop. But you do manage to get wriggled out and you're thinking, okay, it's probably still intact. Bartimus, is there anything that you want to do?
Well, I certainly wasn't expecting to go this soon. I will ready an action.
Okay.
I would like to ready a Tanglefoot bag. I have been doing some studying since last adventure, and I learned of this other alchemical reagent. Excuse me. Yes, a Tanglefoot bag. So I'll ready one of those, and I would like to throw it at any one that approaches Oopsie in a manner that seems like he can't get it, if that makes sense. If he's targeting one, then I'm going to let him just get that one. But
so
if there's another
you're going to let him get the first one. Yeah. You'll target the second creature that sort of closes in on him. Good looking out. It is then my turn. And indeed, oopsie, it looks like 2 of these creatures have their attention on you. And you note shuffling movement as they begin closing in around you. You're still right next to that loop. And both of them start closing in on you, one from the north, one from the south, shuffling forward. Bartimus, you do notice that there are 2 creatures making their way towards Oopsie. Do you want to use that Tanglefoot bag now, or is that a holding on to it still?
I'll make the decision for Oopsie.
Sure.
I will attempt to entangle one of these creatures.
Okie dokie. So you chuck it down.
I sure do.
And I believe it's an attack.
There's an attack. And by golly, I may have done it, my boy. That would be a 22.
That is a success. But you know what would be awesome and hilarious?
Well, you shouldn't do that.
If you critically failed and hit Oopsie with the Tanglefoot bag instead. That would be so funny. And that's exactly what happens as wild magic allows me to replace your roll with a natural 1.
Well, Jim, using the power of the audience, I will choose after your counter to counter you with a reroll.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think I already know where this is going, but it's fun anyways. Well, shoot. And poo poo caca. That's a bottomist right there. That's a 9.
A 9.
But not a 1.
But it's not a 1, and a 9 is not a critical failure. So you do not, in fact, catch Oopsie with your Tanglefoot bag. But Oopsie, you do see a Tanglefoot bag go splat onto the ground next to one of these creatures, leaving you still facing 2 of them that have not been tangle-footed. And you see Bartimus up above, just kind of like,
I think I must have dropped that.
They are able to get to you with both of their actions. However, they don't have another action with which to grab onto you. However, because they are ending their movement adjacent to you, they're reaching tangly vines, try to trip you up, and you need to make 2 reflex saves against that.
All right. The first one is going to be an 8. Nope, a 20.
20 is a success. You managed to dodge out of the way of the first one.
And the second one, also a 20.
Oh, hey, you are ready for this. You remember your training from earlier. You dip, dodge, duck, dive, and dodge, and managed not to get entangled by either of these things thrashing vines. Though you do note that you are now facing off against 2 of these creatures, flanking you on either side, and you might be in a pickle.
Ha! How long have you been holding that one?
I just came up with it. Pipa, it is your action. You see that. You see your friend is in a little bit of trouble. Do you have any way to help him?
Can I look down and see if there's anything I can throw?
There's lots of junk everywhere. I mean, this warehouse is a mess, so junk is not a problem.
Can I throw a piece of junk at one of the 2 that's trying to go after him?
You can. Okay, throw that junk with your mind.
Oh, no junk. 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. You're trying so hard.
No, it's not worth it.
You're trying so hard not to hit Oopsie and make it worse for him.
You know what?
What? I don't.
Can I use my reroll?
You sure?
I have 2 rerolls.
You can.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for my reroll. Oh, come on.
You got another one.
I'm going to use another reroll. Thank you for my reroll. Nice. Okay, that's better. 13 plus 8.
21.
That 21. Is a success. We finally hit a number that'll work. Yay. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. Oh, I tried.
Hey, dropping dice this week.
Okay, here we go. 7 points damage.
7 points of damage. You whip a piece of wood, a broken wood down, and it just splats right into this thing, the rear of this thing's shoulder. And it barely seems to notice, even though its arm is now just like actually hanging off, only attached by some of these vines that are still grown into its flesh. And after that, it is Khan Shaka's turn. Now, you know that you're on hauling duty, but you haven't really gotten a signal to haul anything yet. What do you want to do, if anything?
I would like to use my animal handling abilities to try to teach the bear how to whistle as we wait.
Try to teach the bear how to whistle?
Yep.
Make a nature check.
They have very dexterous lips, Jim.
Nature 26.
26. You get it to the point where the bear is trying to mimic the motions with your mouth that you're so it's like trying to do this. You just keep working at it. Eventually, maybe the bear will be able to whistle. Rias, do you have anything that you can do to aid this situation?
Yeah, so the one that just got hit by Pipa, I want to, you see that blue crackling in my fingers, and I want to do a ray of enfeeblement at the other one.
All right.
It's going to be... And I hit that. Okay, cool.
I was just going to do that.
That's going to be a 24 to hit.
24 is a critical hit.
So it does hit, so you need to make a fortitude save.
Fortitude save. 14. I don't think that's going to do it.
Nope. That is going to be, he's going to be enfeebled 2.
Ugh, enfeebled 2. Is this the one that people already hit, or is this the one that not been
This
hit?
was the other one. The other one that was not damaged.
Nice. All right. Well, if Oopsie chooses correctly, maybe that'll actually make it a lot easier to capture. You can only hope. But it is the top of the next round, and it is up to Oopsie now. Oopsie, you see that you're in a tight spot, but perhaps your friends who are raining down with spells and objects from above will make this okay.
Okay, here's my plan, Jim. You tell me what I got to roll or if I can even do it.
Okay.
Oopsie, last week we learned he likes jumping things.
Uh-huh.
He wants to jump towards this circle in the knot in the rope, kind of use the momentum to swing around and Cirque du Soleil and wrap one of these things up, and then just hold on to the rope and hope my people whoop me right up there.
You know, it is an incredibly overcomplicated way of doing something that you could probably accomplish with fewer actions and less risk, but I'm going to allow it. So absolutely, make an acrobatics check to try to jump into the loop of the harness that you have created for yourself.
I'm going to add my edge to this.
Okay.
Can I add 2 of my edges too?
Sure.
15 on the die.
Oh, well, all right.
Plus
You're
5
off to a good
for
start.
athletics, plus 1 for my edge.
Okay.
Plus 2 for me.
Plus 2, so 23?
4, right?
4?
24. Okay. That does it. You like leap into the loop. It's
And
almost like,
Bakerfield.
it's like when you leap and do the Superman swing and a tire swing.
That's fun.
Forward. Now you need to make a second athletic or acrobatics check to try to angle yourself so that you will wrap up your quarry.
And here's where it all goes to poop. It's a respectable 16.
16 total?
Yeah.
I'll add my plus 1 to that.
I'll add a +1 too.
All right.
I will give you 2 more.
20.
Dirty 20.
I'll give him 1 too, a 21.
I think you've got this thing wrapped up. I think you've done it. You have managed to basically Superman swing your way forward and angle yourself so that you just wrap around this creature.
Are you very graceful?
Oh no!
Leg out and
oh
everything?
no! It's ridiculous.
There's probably a goblin screams.
All of you watching this happen are like, why is he doing that? It doesn't make any sense. He's going to get himself killed. But somehow it seems to be working for him. Bartimus, do you have anything to add to this?
Oh, yes. You see, I did not think that was ridiculous. I instead am applauding and saying, my dear boy, your pageantry knows no bounds. I am so impressed. You all should see what an incredible feat our halfling has done. And I take a quick alchemy action to mix up another Tanglefoot bag and attempt to hit the other one so that he is not chased by that other one.
Okay, go ahead and fire away.
Alrighty, here goes. Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling. What?
Oh,
no. It's a 2 on the die.
It's not correct.
Which makes it an 8, I believe.
Okay. An 8 is, again, not a critical failure, but you nearly splatter Oopsie with a tangle.
And when he looks up at me, I say, oh, Rias, you have startled me. Stop doing that, my dear boy.
You are Artemising all over the place. Oopsie. It is my turn, and the creature that is not wrapped up in the rope is going to try to strike you with its fist.
I assume I'm flat-footed again.
You are flat-footed again, and its total is going to be 21 to hit.
Oof.
So he's gonna bop you good. And that is gonna be 7 points of damage. And the problem, you obviously are immune to the pollen because you have fended off its effects today. So you're not overcome, even though there's this puff of spores. However, it seems to somehow instinctively know that you haven't been infected. And when it strikes you, it just grabs onto you. And you are now being held by this thrall, and that's about the time that you notice you hear this. Some of the boxes around you begin to shudder as a much larger, much nastier creature begins lumbering towards you. It looks like maybe a work oxen has also been infected, and it's just covered in these entangling vines, and it just charges in at you and tries to headbutt you as you're being held there by its companion.
Plant cow!
And that is going to hit armor class 28.
No, I don't think that got it.
Because I'm grabbed and immobilized is a critical.
What?
So I'm going to roll 2d12 for the damage.
Wait, hold on now. Hold on.
Yes.
I have one thing that I'm going to pull out of my sleeve here because I don't know. Khan Shaka may not know this. Khan Shaka has a mercy which removes a condition, and I believe grappled is a condition.
In this particular circumstance, we've talked about it with the application of conditions with values can be removed, like dying, wounded, stupefied, clumsy, but grappled because it is is physically being held. It's not something that you just overcome by force of will.
Well, it's not force of will.
You can try to reduce the damage.
You see, the fans have donated, so that is why it's not force of will. It's donation.
It's donation.
So that makes it different. Well, I tried.
You did. It was admirable.
It's a 2d12.
2d12 plus 10 points of damage is going to be
Get bodied. Oh my god.
It's going to be 22 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing just crashes into you. And you can all above you see he is in bad trouble. He's got one of these things in his rope, but one of them has grabbed him and another one is just battering him from behind.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Like it slipped out, my ankle's the only thing in the rope at this point.
I have a question.
You do, and I would love to hear it.
With that force of that impact on the rope, did the rope go up? Is he currently airbound?
No, because he was being held by one of the other creatures. He doesn't physically move very much.
Well, okay, I guess. Pull him up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to help him. That's just all there is to it. It is Peepa's turn.
Because I can cast Soothe from 30 feet, I'm going to cast Soothe on Oopsie.
There you go. That sounds good. I believe it was what 1d10.
Yeah, 1d10 plus 4, and then he gets a +2 status bonus to saves against mental effects.
Oh, that actually would have been super useful.
Oh, yeah.
Maximum! You got 14 points back.
Whoa,
Nice.
Peepa coming in and making it happen.
Yes.
Do you have anything else that you can do this turn?
I'll start singing because that's one action.
Sure, yeah. Inspire courage after basically bringing Oopsie back from the brink of death. Khan Shaka, you feel the rope is moving all around down there. Things are happening. Are you gonna pull?
Oh, as hard as possible.
Heave. All right. You begin to heave. Athletics check. and you get an additional, again, +3 bonus because you are being assisted. And I'll even let you apply the bonus for the Inspire Courage. I feel like an inspiring song would help. So that's an additional +1 on top of the +3.
Isn't Barry helping as well? Isn't that
Barry the Bear is definitely helping.
Oh, okay. So then there you go. You get another one for Barry.
Okay, so it's +4 +1 plus my roll plus athletics.
Athletics, yes.
28.
Yeah.
28. That's not just a success, it's a critical success.
Yeah.
You hold. All of you working in unison just heave Oopsie up and like yank him up over the lip of the skylight. There's this thrashing creature that is caught up in the rope. All of the guys who are helping you are like backing away all of a sudden because they know that if they get hit by this thing, they could become infected by its thraldom. But you guys, since you guys have already been exposed and resisted its effects, are working to keep it tied up. You managed to wrestle it down into the wagon below and get it caged up before it can hurt anybody else. When you explain that the rest of them are still active inside and sort of the reasons that you are not going to destroy them right now, everybody seems a little bit weary. But after seeing you guys in action and as you sort of express this desire to really help the community and save as many people as you can, Dave is sort of calms everybody down. Like, they're doing it. These are people. They if they can save them, well, I'd want them to save me too if I was like that. So give them their space. We got to trust them. We'll man these barricades and make sure these guys don't get out. Just save this guy. All right.
They have a cow.
There's a cow in there, everybody. We gotta save the cow too. And you rush back to HEI headquarters. With this thing in your clutches. You've done that. You get it back, and immediately there's a rush of activity when you arrive back at headquarters. People immediately, they're staying back from you because a lot of them have not been exposed to this pollen yet. But you can see a lot of people are sort of standing around. People have got nets. They've got these big, thick, baggy clothing on to try to protect themselves in case they have to step in, and they sort of let you take the lead as you have this roped up thrall that you take down into level a place that some of you have been before when you were getting the experimental weapons from Fiddleman's. But this time you do not go to Fiddleman's. There's another laboratory, a medical laboratory down there, where an alchemist known as Dr. Morgan does his work. As you get this poor soul sort of wrestled onto Dr. Morgan's table, he says, I'm going to need you to stay here and work with me. I've got to try to excise the invasive flora, but it's going to be incredibly dangerous. Are any of you trained in medicine?
Well, I don't mean to brag or toot my own horn. Hong
Excellent.
Kong.
You stand by to assist me with the surgery.
I can help too.
Yes, does anybody have any magical healing in case we get a bleeder?
Oopsie has some.
I need somebody to stand by for magical healing if we need it. This is going to be an incredibly dangerous procedure for the host. And anybody else who can help in case this thing breaks free, I'm going to need you as well. I must stress, though, that even if it breaks free, we're going to have to do everything that we can to keep the host alive, even if it means risking ourselves. Because if I'm right, we might not just save him, but many, many others.
Barry looks at a giant roar.
I'll just have the blue light raven fuel crackling in my fingers in case it tries to get away. I can try to enfeeble it again.
I want to put my glaive in the door to lock it.
Okay.
Slot.
I pull out my little surgical mask and I put it around myself, and then Barry puts on his surgical mask, and then he takes a wet compress and begins just dabbing me as I.
So since you are helping with the medical procedure part, as you see a whole bunch of very sharp, shining tools are laid out on a table, and the doctor begins cutting into where you can see these writhing vines are growing into the flesh. And as he cuts, the vines actually try to bury themselves deeper, almost as if they're trying to resist being removed from the host. And he says, "Oh, I need you to get the clamps in there and get this." And he's instructing you how to help him. Make a medicine check.
This is to aid, Jim?
Yes. You are aiding this procedure.
Go ahead and do it.
I don't believe I have any more bonuses, which is a shame.
I'll give you a +1. And I also have medicine too if we need it. But I think you +1.
Well, I think you should aid as well. I think you can. Jim, is she able to aid as well? Or no?
Yeah, if you are trained in medicine,
one assistant. Yes.
If you're trained in medicine, you can also make an attempt to aid.
So
nope, I don't.
Mine's a 16 with her +1.
16 with her +1. So you do what you can to try to help the doctor as he begins making an incision. And I will roll a medicine check for the doctor. And he's because the patient is still thrashing around, it's unsuccessful. And you notice now there is a as the patient thrashes, there's a cut that forms in the deep muscle tissue, and it begins bleeding profusely. At this point, the doctor says, "You're going to need to either heal that. We need magic or medicine. Somebody's going to have to step in." Shaka, you still have not acted yet, and Oopsie has not acted yet. If you want to try to staunch the bleeding, you can use either a treat wounds check, which is medicine, or you can any amount of magical healing will stop the bleeding.
I'm just going to blast him with a lay on hands.
Okay, sure. Blast him with a lay on hands. The bleeding stops almost immediately. At this point, the patient starts thrashing wildly, and Shaka, you have not acted yet. So if you would like to try to hold the patient down, you can make an athletics check to try to make sure that they're still restrained. Barry can, of course, assist if that's what Barry is there to do.
Barry, take the other arm. I'll take one. That's a 19 on the die, which makes it 25.
Easily managed to basically just pin them down so that you basically stop the motion. The doctor readies themselves. Dr. Morgan readies himself to make another cut. He says, "Okay, we have to be very steady. I never said this was going to be easy." Anybody who is making a standard medicine check this round to help with the excision can go ahead and do so.
Jim, I don't know if this is, I guess maybe I just roll the standard one rather than ask this question, but I have battle medicine, which is something I just took. And I don't think this necessarily helps, but it says I can attempt a medicine check with the same DC as for treat wounds and restore a corresponding amount of hit points.
Sure. If that'll help if the patient is actually starting bleeding out, or they suffer damage because of a critical failure on the medicine checks, then you could use that instead of magical healing to do the same sort of instantaneous healing.
Gotcha. All right. This was a better roll. 22 to assist.
That will provide assistance successfully. Peepa?
I rolled a 15 total.
15 total. Peepa's having a little, she's just having a hard time. She doesn't have anybody dabbing her forehead like you do. and she's not able to.
Philip, what are you doing? Do not be lazy, boy. Go over and help her. Dab that.
Dab it. The doctor tries once again with your much more focused assistance, Bartimus. And is able to succeed. You see they begin cutting some of this plant material out of the body. And because you are there to sort of help stitch up wounds and make sure that none of the bleeding gets too bad. However, it is a very traumatic procedure. And the patient does take some damage as muscle fiber that is almost grown into the plant fiber is excised. And you can see the patient goes into is bleeding. The doctor looks at the rest of you and says, "Somebody stop the bleeding right now, or we're going to lose him." That is going to require either something similar to battle medicine if you have it, or another jolt of magical healing to stop the bleeding.
I'm out of magical healing.
I have two. Or go ahead.
I just cast heal.
Heal, okay. You cast heal, laying it on the patient. The bleeding stops almost immediately, and the thrashing stops as well. And you wait, and the doctor is very carefully examining the patient, checking on them. looking for more spots where there might still be growth. But after about 10 tense minutes of waiting, Bilek finally looks at the rest of you and says, I think this is it. I think we've managed to stabilize him. This is huge. This means that the rest of the people that we bring here can be saved as well. We don't have to destroy people to stop this plague. Excellent work. This is what being a hero is all about. And with that, you have succeeded in, at least for the moment, stopping the threat and providing a path for the city to follow to save many more lives as the plague is beaten. So congratulations, you did it! Hooray! And we have reached the end of our time here together. I am, of course, because wild magics are sacred, I am going to keep that natural one for any other time that Adam Khan is on the stream. It will be eligible for me to use. So thank you, Sarah BC1, for that awesome wild magic.
That was fun. I'm glad I got some of them nat 20s too.
Yeah, you got a lot of them.
Good job, everybody. You guys did it. I'm proud of y'all. It was,
do we get paid twice,
a fun time. Yeah, you will probably get an extra little boost for your work, and not only your job earlier today, but providing a path to a cure for the people of Cavaloshia who were infected by the yellow musk creepers. Of course, the yellow musk creepers are still going to have to be hunted down. The plants themselves have to be destroyed in the city. There's still definitely an active threat, but at least there is hope for those who fall victim to their sway. I just want to check and make sure. I don't know. Let's turn to the chat for a couple of minutes. I think before we head out of here, it's good to talk to everybody. I am already seeing that Nessie of the Lake, called Ness, says that is very evil, Jim Jam. Probably meaning about my banked natural one. It's not evil. It's just I'm trying to make sure that you guys get the value of the wild magic out of it. So that's why I'm going to keep that natural one.
What that is.
Wait,
for my own benefit.
Didn't Rady make that argument to save me from taking 22 points of damage? You're like, oh.
Adam Khan, I'm going to need you to take one for the team and never come on the show again.
Yeah, that's what Scott was saying. We will never see Khan again. Bye, guys.
Wow.
Brian Summers says we should just take the guy out and compost him.
Well, hey, I gave up on him already.
I was reminded by Brian Summers' comment earlier as well. He said he also never said the patient would survive. I was reminded of the scene from Hot Shots, if you guys have ever seen Hot Shots with the doctor. He's like, doctor, can you save him? And he's like, I don't know, not a very good doctor.
Brian Summer says, Cirque de Oopsie, tickets on sale now.
It was an impressive feat that you pulled off.
I was expecting that one to drop then.
I was really thinking about it. I feel like maybe if things weren't already going so poorly for you, because I knew that once the brute showed up, things would get really nasty. I didn't want to outright kill you.
Earlier, I'm in for life says, I feel that Khan is constantly just backing away from Bartimus.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are constantly backing away from Bartimus. He's a special guy.
He's delightful.
He is very delightful. There is no doubt about that.
I saw it earlier. I don't recall who said it, but they said basically you tried to turn me into a plant and kill me down there because you dislike my glimpse of redemption.
That is one way of getting rid of it, is to just turn you into a plant.
You're just trying to kill me.
And Delirious gifted a sub earlier to Vaporac. So thank you so much for the gifted sub, Delirious.
Yeah. Awesome. That is fantastic.
We begin the slow climb back to 300 and then onward to 400.
Onward to 400. Another extra special thank you to everybody who donated tonight. Of course, we are collecting donations this week, all for Black Lives Matter. It really means a lot to us that you all sort of share our views on this cause and have really pulled out all the stops to make this successful. We're going to be really happy to be able that the DaT fam is going to be able to make a significant contribution. So that's really awesome. Thank you guys so much. We still have Things in Space tomorrow, and it's Saturday's part of the week. So we will still be collecting all the donations through the end of tomorrow's stream are going to be all going towards the cause. So thank you very much. Hopefully you'll be around for that and be able to help out however you can. Even if that just means sharing what we're doing, because the more people who know about this and who see it and who can join us for the stream, the better chances we have of making those contributions. So even if all you can do is share, that's awesome. We love it.
Absolutely. We will see everybody tomorrow for Things in Space. Look forward to some kind of update on what our plans are for the remainder of 2020 next week. I won't tell you it's a very comprehensive plan, but there will be some more information that will at least give you guys some idea of what we have planned for 2020.
Awesome. We will see y'all later. Make sure you tune in for Things in Space tomorrow. And Crits and Giggles on Monday for Crits and Giggles. We will see ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.